joke's on me.
Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen, on this June 12th, 2026 transmission of the Owen Report. Happens every Friday here. Happens every Friday. We want to keep it loose. We want to go into the weekend on a high note. And then I start reading the news. Darn it. Start reading the news and getting ready for the show, and I don't know. I don't know if I can do it, guys. It's an incredible thing to witness yet again today. All of the new MAGA, the neocon, foreign loyalist coalition that will go crazy if you criticize Trump, specifically on foreign policy. They'll go nuts. We've all seen it. Now we've all seen it at multiple debates that I've been a part of. Maybe even you listening to this have experienced some of this coming at you. We know what it is. I've got the receipts today. I'm going to show you who. I'm going to show you what. And every single time, the same people, how dare you criticize Trump? Trust the plan. And then the minute Trump wants to actually accomplish peace in the Middle East, those same people start being critical of Trump. They call him a loser. They call him pathetic. And they stab him in the back. Just like I said they would from the very beginning. And this is just a taste. This is just a taste. If Trump wants to ride with these people, and he might not have a choice now. I don't know if former MAGA is even willing to ride with him anymore. But if he wants to ride with these people, he can just get used to it. He can just get used to it, and he can figure out where their true loyalty lies. We know where it is. We've been trying to warn the man. We've been trying to avoid this for him. He made his choice. And now he might be stuck with it. Oh, but they're trying to ruin his birthday weekend. You know, I think Trump's big mistake was doing this on Wednesday and Thursday. He should have waited and done this on Friday so that when they're all screeching and bitching and moaning about peace, when they're all having their breakdown, it's like a crackhead when they can't get crack. You know, it's like a meth addict when they can't get meth. That's what it's like for these warmongers. That's what it's like for these neocons. Whenever there's like a day without death and destruction, they start to freak out. They start to, claw at their face and pace around the room. The only thing that can satisfy them, the only thing that can calm them down is death and destruction. But a lot of it. I mean, Israel is literally ripping through Palestine right now. They just bombed another Christian village. They're selling land now. The Israeli government is getting ready to just sell Palestinian land to Israelis. So this is all happening. It's not enough, though. It's still not enough. It's like we need to just. So we're going to look at that. We do have some news on the UFC thing today. It is going to go off. The judge, an easy one to predict, said, no, this deal's good. We're going to go ahead and let it happen. So we do have news on that. Bunch of UFO stuff. Does anybody care? I mean, look, I feel I have a job to do. I have to be honest. I look at the stuff in the news today. It's a Friday. I'm like, you know what? One of these days, I just have to not even open the news. One of these days, I just have to say, I'm not even going to look at the news. We're not even going to talk about the news. I'm just going to sit here and we're going to take calls and we're just going to hang out. And we're just going to hang out and love life and have fun, talk some trash, make some jokes, whatever. We can talk some politics. Just not look at the news. And then, but here's my problem, especially on a day like today. If I don't cover this stuff today, you're never going to hear about it. If I don't bring you this information and the different stuff we have on the show today, you will literally, nobody covers this stuff. Nobody covers it. Nobody gets it. They don't even try. So it's this burden. I feel like I have this burden. Somebody has to get you this information. And it has to be me. No one else will do it. So that's what we're going to do today. So we got that. We got, Middle East news. But the big thing, here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to come back with a little opening dialogue about a monologue, rather. I'm going to come back with a little opening monologue about where MAGA is at today compared to where it was at 10 years ago. And I'm going to just take some statements that are being made today that give us the path forward, that light the path to understanding why MAGA is here versus where it was at 10 years ago. So I'm going to do a little monologue with that. We're going to pile drive through some news stories, some headlines, some UFO stuff. Then I'm going to do the heavy stuff, which is we'll kind of go back to the original monologue, but now bring the receipts where all of the foreign loyalists, which this is what comprises MAGA now, the neocons and the foreign loyalists, they're all turning on Trump today. They're all calling him a loser. They're all attacking him. Oh, what happened to trust Trump? What happened to trust Trump? What happened to trust the plan? What happened, guys? It's funny because when we offer disagreement or criticism on foreign policy, you guys jump down our throats with the long knives. How dare us? How dare us? Oh, but no. Oh, now it's you today. And you are on the side of death and destruction. Amazing. Amazing. So we're going to bring the receipts and I'm going to lay that out for you because this is what needs to be understood. You have to be open-minded. If you want to do political debate in good faith, where there's some sort of a mutual agreement that, hey, we both want a better life for everybody. We both think that there's problems. Maybe we agree on the problems. So how do we fix it? How do we address it? How do we communicate these things? But you have to be open-minded. You have to be able to understand where someone else is coming from. Doesn't mean you have to agree, but you have to understand, at least try. So the real thing that needs to be understood today, this isn't about a foreign policy debate. This isn't about whether you like the war or not, whether you think Iran is the problem or not, whether you think Israel is the problem or not. This is not even what matters. This is not even the point. The point is that the people that are arguing now, gatekeeping MAGA, the people that are arguing now about what's best for America's foreign policy, these are foreign loyalists. That's what you need to understand. Have whatever opinion you want as far as American foreign policy is concerned. Have whatever opinion you want as far as the Middle East is concerned. We'll have debates. And we'll see who wins. Go look at all the replies on the YouTube debate. That'll give you a pretty good idea. But I'm open-minded. Let's have a debate. What do you think about the Middle East? What do you think about Israel? What do you think about Iran? I'm willing to listen. Maybe you can convince me. Maybe not. But don't sit here and try to deceive me. Don't sit here and treat me like a fool. Don't insult my intelligence. What you need to understand, and what Trump most importantly needs to understand, and maybe I'm being naive here about Trump, but the message that needs to be understood today, it's not even about what you think about the Middle East. It's that these people now that comprise MAGA that are trying to dictate to us what foreign policy is best in the Middle East, they are foreign loyalists. That's what you need to understand. These are not American patriots. These are not right-wing American conservatives. These are foreign loyalists. Many of them are literally foreigners that just somehow have wedged their way into American politics. So just understand where their side is coming from. Just understand where all this noise is coming from today. People upset that Trump is trying to have a peace deal, at least for a weekend. Whatever you want to say about the issue and the debate, you need to understand these are not American patriots. These are not right-wing conservatives. These are quite literally foreign loyalists, and their entire loyalty to you or their entire support for Trump and the country only hinges on one thing, and that is as long as whatever America is doing is beneficial to Israel, then they will support it. But if America is not being beneficial for Israel's interest, then they will not support it. And that's what you need to understand. That is what is on display today. I will bring the receipts. I will bring the evidence, and it will be undeniable. You want to say, hey, I'm not sure who the good or bad guy in the Middle East is. Fine. Fine. But there is no debate. The people that are arguing in the American foreign policy discourse and space that are upset today because Trump is trying to have a peace deal, they are foreign loyalists. And yes, I will say it 100 times till I'm blue in the face. Because I'm not going to sit here as an American and watch these phonies and watch these traitors and watch these neocons and watch these foreigners steal my future and steal everything that our ancestors have built. I'm not going to sit here and let it happen. Not on my watch, bud. So we're going to look at that. Now, I've got some more stuff as far as the Carmelo Anthony trial response is concerned. I'm 50-50 if we even do it today. Not just because of what happened yesterday with the show getting shut down. More of, I think we're just kind of sick of it. But there is some news out there today. And I also feel like it's important to highlight the other side now, because the first wave of the responses were kind of the irrational responses, the stuff that we covered yesterday, the extremist responses, racist, bigoted, however you want to call it, hate-filled, brainwashed. Well, now there's been a second wave of responses of people who are taking the other side of the issue from the black community specifically. So it's kind of like, hey, if we're going to cover one side, we should cover the other in fairness. Let's have a fair representation of everything that's being discussed on that issue. But I don't know if we'll do it. We'll see if we have time. We'll see how we're feeling. We got a wide open show, though. We got a wide open show. And so we'd like to take calls, but we do have a lot of news, and I don't know. I'll try not to rant too much. We went long on an opening monologue rant here, but it's just, I'm going to put it all together. There's a direction for today's show. It's like when there's a day like today, I mean, I could talk about SpaceX. I don't have it in here. I could talk about the stock market. I don't have it in here. Maybe we'll get to that. I could talk about, the World Cup is going on and some of the weird stuff with that. I don't have that in the stack. Because on a day like today, there is an opportunity to convincingly make your point. This is a very general issue, but specifically on the co-opting of MAGA and how the Trump administration has gone a completely different direction. On a day like today, you have all the evidence as to why. You have all the evidence as to why this has happened, and you can lay it out in convincing fashion. And it's just like, it's like a crowbar. It's like, today I get the crowbar, and I want to pry these foreign loyalists off my back. And today I have the crowbar to do it. They've given me the crowbar today. I have the crowbar. These foreign loyalist parasite bloodsuckers. We can't get, I can get, maybe I got a crowbar today. Maybe I can get one of their fangs out of my neck. Maybe I can get one of their claws out of my back. So we're going to try to crowbar it today with all of this information as well as the news. So all of that and more coming up on today's Owen Report. Brought to you by our friends at Allegiance Gold. We could talk about the stock market today, and there's even something I could say. I don't know if I really want to say it because, well, I'll say this. I'm thinking about getting out of the stock market entirely and even just putting it all into gold. I will just tell you that. It's like, I don't know if I want to tell you about what I'm doing, but I'm seriously considering that. I'm seriously concerned right now that we might see a large stock market correction or even crash is my concern. And so when I think about that, I think, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to put money in the bank? Do I want to get crypto? And the answer to those two questions is always no. And I always land on gold. I always land on precious metals. I always land on gold. This is the thought process that I go through. You might be doing the same thing. So you need to go to protectwithowen.com. Reach out to our friends at Allegiance Gold. Now, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, well, you should. That's normal. We're talking about your wealth. We're talking about your finances. All you got to do is give them a phone call. The phone call is free. 844-790-9191, 844-790-9191. And while you have them on the phone, ask them about $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments. You heard that right, $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments, whether through your 401k, IRA, or savings. They make it simple to move into something real before the next reset. And as I was just saying, I think we're all kind of feeling that is a serious potential right now. A+ review with the Better Business Bureau. Doesn't get better than that. Our friends at Allegiance Gold. So give them a call, 844-790-9191, or go to protectwithowen.com. Protect your wealth because no one else will.
Turn my system on.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, guys. Man, we already got some interesting things happening in the chat. We got a loaded news deck today. I couldn't even get to all of it. And it's still loaded. I want to start the show with a very just general sense of where America, the country, is at, where the modern MAGA is at versus where the original MAGA was at. And there's things today in the news that give us an idea of this. And I guess actually I would start, I've got some commentary I want to start with here. Sean Ryan and his guests really seem to get it. And I think the problem that a lot of people in the political media are missing is they're still stuck in this left-right paradigm. And they just can't, they don't understand that most people have moved on. And I'll even get into the reasons why. And I've talked about this before. But the right wing, whatever high ground the right wing had in politics and morals, it's gone. It's gone. We don't have it anymore. The high ground we had in culture, all of it, it's all gone. It's been, all that political capital has been spent on bad foreign policy. That's basically what you got. And then, and this is kind of, it's the same team, but the other side of this coalition, which is the Israeli lobby, they don't understand that now all this stuff that they say about Muslims, it doesn't work anymore. Israel has lost whatever moral high ground that they had. And as far as the American people are concerned, it's never been more obvious. I mean, every poll, everywhere you go, right, left, it doesn't matter. So whenever you see right-wing conservatives coming out here and saying, oh, but the liberals, oh, but the left, oh, but the Democrats, it doesn't work anymore. You guys are at the same level as them again. You just haven't realized it yet. The high ground where you could come at the left and say stuff like that, it doesn't work anymore. You're now on the same level with the left. You're now on the same level with the Democrats. So you can't high ground from the right anymore. It doesn't work. But they've been doing that for 8 years. quite frankly, because of the work of people like us, but they've been able to get that high ground. And so they've been used to it, thinking that, oh, we can just fire at the left and we'll maintain the high ground. They haven't realized they don't have the high ground anymore. It doesn't hit. It doesn't hit anymore. And it's the same thing with the Israeli side of this. The Israeli side of this, or maybe even to some extent the Jewish side of this, but it's really more Israeli centric, but we know how they tie these two things together, obviously, which is, Muslims are bad. Muslims do this, Muslims do this, Muslims this, Muslims that. It doesn't work anymore. Israel, Jews, however you want to put it, you guys don't have the high ground anymore. Now, people will argue they never did, but for the sake of this conversation, I think that this is where it's at right now for the American public. The high ground that Israel had, the high ground that Jews had on Islamic countries and on Muslims, you've lost it all. Everything that you've done in Palestine, everything that you've done in Gaza, everything you've done in the West Bank and the Golan Heights and Lebanon and Syria and everything else, not to mention the buying and selling and co-opting of American politics and interest, you guys don't have it. When you sit here and bitch and complain and tell everybody how bad Muslims are, it doesn't matter. You look just as bad. And you might sit here and say, well, that's not fair to equate the actions of the IDF or to equate the actions of Israel with Jews or Israel supporters in America. Well, you know what? If that's your contention here, then you're barking at the wrong person. We're not the ones that want to attach American Jewry to Israel. That's not our agenda here. That's not a motivating factor here. That's not a propaganda operation here. We all know where that's coming from. And we all know why. So if you're upset now that because of the actions of Israel, Jews no longer have a moral high ground on Muslims, well, then your beef isn't here. Your beef is not with American conservatives or America firsters. Your beef needs to be with people like Netanyahu and Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro that have been supporting this bloodshed and then trying to tie it all into American Jewry so that when you criticize it, they can just call you an anti-Semite in hopes to silence any criticism so that they can continue their death and destruction and raping and pillaging. So it doesn't work. The right wing in American politics no longer has the high ground. And the Israeli side of the Muslims versus Jews issues in the Middle East, the Israeli side in American politics no longer has the high ground. So you can't sit here and berate the left and think that's going to move anybody in the middle. It doesn't work. You can't sit here and berate Muslims like that's going to move anybody in the middle. It doesn't work anymore. So whatever high ground these two political entities had, it has all been expelled in the last 4 years. It's gone. There is no high ground. You guys are on level playing fields now with what you consider your opposition, and everybody can see it. And the momentum is now going the opposite direction. And this is just causing you guys to act even crazier than you already are. But let's get to the point. So Andrew Torba said this the other day, and I talk about this all the time on the show. He says, the average American is a powder keg of righteous rage right now, and I don't think any of our leaders understand just how bad it is on the ground. And I replied to him on X, I said, it's not just our political leaders, it's the media as well. They're so high on their own supply, hotboxing their political bubble. They haven't a clue the silent but righteous indignation and vitriol the average American has for our political leaders and government. Now, I say silent because, these are not people that are on social media. These are not people on social media. These are not people going out with a bullhorn on the street corner. These are not people that even really like to talk about politics or think about politics. I end up kind of being like a cat scratch post for these people. It's like they need to come scratch a post. They come to me to tell me about their political beefs. But that gives me the human intelligence. And I don't think anybody else is doing it. I have been saying for years that I'm to the point where I think these DC politicos have no social life outside of their political bubble. They have no friends. They have no perspective. They have no diversity of thought or culture in their life. None. It's whatever political silo they're in, and that's it. because the ignorance of this from Washington, D.C. and the political media is at this point completely astounding. But they are silent. They are silent. But everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. You can't find somebody that doesn't have an issue with the U.S. government. I mean, everybody understands it's corrupt. Now, if you're on the left or the right, you might have different ways you look at it. Everybody understands it's corrupt. Everybody is sick of it. But it's that middle group of people that politically can go either direction that are really starting to get fed up. And because they all supported and voted for Trump, there's this belief in DC and there's this belief in MAGA that somehow those people are now part of the team permanently, and it doesn't matter what we do. And they haven't decided to even check on the kids in the bedroom to see if they're still there. They're gone. It's like you guys wanted to make yourselves the mom and dad. You guys wanted to make yourself big brother of this political movement, but you forgot to check if the kids are in the bedroom. They're gone. Everybody left the house. And that's really what it is. It's you have all of these MAGA, fake conservative, foreign loyalists, neocon politicos that are all like shouting at each other in a room about how they need to kill more people and how they need to spend more money. And they're all shouting at one another in the room. Everyone else has left the room. We're gone. You guys are literally just shouting at one another now. You guys are literally just in a room screaming at one another about Iran and Israel and anti-Semitism. And it's like everybody's gone. The kids have left the house. The babysitter's gone home. The overnight is over. The pizza party is over. The pool party is over. Everyone's gone. And you guys are still sitting in the kitchen screaming and yelling at one another. Nobody's there anymore. The party's over. But they just haven't figured it out yet. They just haven't bothered to look around. They just believe they're entitled to this influence. They just believe they're entitled to the middle Americans that got Trump in office. And they don't understand we're gone. And it's not even a situation where maybe you could like run out the front door and say, hey, wait a second, hold on. No, we're like 100 miles away now. That opportunity is long gone. You had that opportunity maybe a year ago. Maybe a year ago was your last opportunity to open the front door and say, hey, wait a second. Hold on. Don't leave yet. Hold on. Let's figure this out. Come back in. Come on back. Hold on. Let's see if we can figure this out. That was a year ago. We're gone. We're 100 miles away now. We're looking for new property. We're looking for new houses. We're shopping around. We're all kind of in our own little world to figure out what the hell's going on. We want nothing to do with you anymore. Nothing. You guys just haven't figured it out. You're in denial of this. And so Sean Ryan says this, and he is 100% right. And if you don't understand this, this is not my opinion. This is very important. This is not my opinion. If you don't understand what he is saying here, you're just not paying attention. And that's why you can say whatever you want about Sean Ryan. The easiest thing to spot right now, if you're following political media, forget about people's politics. The easiest thing to spot right now in political media is who actually has a somewhat of a normal social life and who has no social life. So it's like, I can already tell you, Sean Ryan has a bunch of different friends, a diverse group of friends, probably some semblance of a normal social life, and they talk about normal stuff, and this is the feedback he's getting. He's not existing in these elitist DC, New York political bubbles where it's only them and their political silo. He's talking to normal Americans. You can tell. So if you disagree with what Sean Ryan says right here, that's because you're not paying attention. Now, you might not like what he says. You might not like that this is happening, and that's one thing, and that's fine. If you don't like that this is happening, okay. But if you deny that this is happening, then you are not even, you're so unaware of what's happening in American people's thoughts and minds right now that you really are doing a disservice to America by even talking politics. If you don't understand that what Sean Ryan says right here is true, then you are simply not actually following American politics. You're just following DC elite propaganda and talking points and agenda-driven news. You're not tapping into the American people. You're totally removed from the American people if you don't understand that what Sean Ryan says right here is true.
I think we're leading up to a holy war.
Oh,
It's not going to be fucking nations.
Yeah,
I mean, I want to be solution based. I think there's a way out of this, but everybody's got to be on the same page.
well, and you just hit the nail on the head. That is the way out of this. Is we have to all come together as Americans and realize, like,
Well, I will say that Israel is the one thing since 9/11 that I've seen everybody rallying around.
Mhm.
Get off our fucking tit.
Yep.
We're tired of paying for your fucking education. We're tired of paying for your universal health care. We're tired of paying for your fucking Iron Dome. We're tired of paying for your fucking missile defense. We get shit. We are a fucking cow pasture for Israel. We're tired of fighting your fucking wars. We're tired of dying for your fucking causes.
Everything he just said there is true. Now, if you want to talk about the holy war thing, it's a little bit of a separate issue. Maybe it deserves a little more context. I would say my understanding is when you look at what Israel is doing right now, they're hell-bent on a holy war. They're not going to stop. They will keep bombing and killing people until they're done or until somebody stands up to them for once. That's not going to stop. It's very clear. And just what we see in the news cycle today, with all the Israeli loyalists freaked out at a potential peace deal, I mean, that tells you everything. So if we ever thought there was hope at peace in the Middle East, it's very clear after today. As long as the current Israel leadership is there, as long as Netanyahu is there, as long as the current foreign policy of Israel exists, there will never be peace in the Middle East, period. And so this is the conclusion that everybody's seeing now after more than a year of this, that Israel will never stop. Whatever it is that they're trying to do, they will never stop until somebody stands up to them. And so, yeah, if that's Muslims, as I guess it traditionally is, I don't know. You could get into the history of the whole holy wars thing. But whoever it is, this is the realization of the American people. If there's going to be a big holy war, if there's going to be something that ignites a larger war, we can see the one thing, at least in the Middle East, the one entity keeping peace from being accomplished is Israel. They simply will not do it. They cannot do it. We have witnessed it 100 times in the last year. This country is hell-bent on death and destruction for whatever the agenda is. And then as far as the American people being rallying behind this issue, that is also 100% true. And I'm telling you, folks, like I said, I'm like a cat scratch post for people that don't really like to talk about politics. But, you know, it's hard to avoid now. The top issue, almost every time somebody wants to start a conversation with me now is Israel. The top issue. And it's everyone. Men, women, old, young, black, white, Mexican, you name it. Every single person. This is not opinion. This is reality. This is the truth. You may not like it, but that's the reality. And I think the big disconnect when you talk about people in America that love Israel, support Israel, they're loyal to Israel, this is the big disconnect. You have to understand. You have to understand. The average American doesn't care about Israel, period. Do you understand that? We don't care about Israel's fate. We don't care about Mike Huckabee's propaganda telling us we have to be slaves to Israel. We don't care about Netanyahu telling us for 4 decades that 5 different Muslim countries are going to have a bomb, and if we don't go in there and kill them all, they're going to bomb us. Okay? This stuff, we don't care. We're done. We're over it. We've seen our way of life go the wrong way. We've seen our country decay. Our country's in debt. Our economy is collapsing. We got problems. So yes, I'm sorry. For the average American, there is a 0% care meter for Israel, a 0%. And I'm not trying to be rude. I understand. People care about Israel. I understand. There are a lot of people on the right wing that are hardcore Zionists. I understand. There's a lot of people that are on the Israeli lobby payroll, especially on the right. I understand all of this. I understand that these are also facts. But their big disconnect is that for some reason, they just assume that because you're American, you also love Israel. Wrong. They just assume because you're on the right wing of American politics that you're pro-Israel. Wrong. There has never been a unifying issue in this country since 9/11 like there is today on the anti-Israel stance. And it is ironic, isn't it? I mean, it almost proves exactly what I'm saying at the start of the show. People will be saying, well, how could this happen? How could we go from 9/11 and America uniting against radical Islam to June 2026 and America uniting against Israel? How could we get there? Well, I told you, whether you believe the official narrative of 9/11 or not, from that point, Israel, Jews had all the high ground over Muslims in this country, and everyone was on your side. And maybe that's what 9/11 was for. But now here you are, 25 years later, and all of that moral high ground, all of that geopolitical capital, foreign policy capital, it's gone. You have none anymore. Zero. Zero, zilch, nada. That's how we got here. Just like how the right wing has wasted all of its political momentum and capital on Israel, and now it's dead in the water for the midterms. Israel has done the same thing. And so it's over. It's over. And this is why people are so concerned, since it's obvious Israel is never going to stop. They're never going to give this up. They have an agenda that no one else on the earth likes except them. They have an agenda that 99% of this planet is against, but they're not going to stop. And so, unfortunately, that is inevitable destruction. And that's what breaks our hearts. That's why we want out. Staying connected to Israel is inevitable destruction. And I'm sorry, but myself, as an American, I don't like that deal. And even Randy Fine says so. Even Randy Fine comes out and says, there won't be an America in 50 years, but there will be an Israel. Even Fine admits it. If we sign another permanent contract with Israel, it's over, folks. Whoever gets tethered to Israel in this next geopolitical turn is going to be destroyed. And that will be us. So I'm against it. And so are the vast majority of Americans. But this is where the political class, the DC class, have no clue that this is how Americans feel. So again, I emphasize this. This is not my opinion. This is a fact. And if you cannot understand this fact and you do not recognize this fact, then you are not living in reality. I'm trying to help you. Trust me. This is where the American people are at. I've never seen anything like this, as far as I can bet almost every time if somebody's going to bring up a political subject to me when I'm out and about, it's going to be anti-Israel. Almost every time. Now let's get to the MAGA issue. MAGA 2015, MAGA 2026. And I think there's a lot of ignorance as far as this topic is concerned, because not many people were actually there on the ground supporting Trump in 2015. So they don't really have the proper experience to cover this 10-year, 11-year cycle of original MAGA and current MAGA. Well, I just so happen to have been there, boots on the ground, since day one. So I experienced all of this. So let's look at a couple examples of How did MAGA go from what it was, original MAGA 2015 to current MAGA 2026? And I'm going to show a couple posts here and use these as examples. So it says, from Common Sense Prevails here, it says, what has gotten into Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens? And I guess this is in response. Bongino is attacking Tucker today. I've got that later on in the show. I'll get to that. But let me explain why I bring this up. What has gotten into Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens? Folks, you have to understand, in 2015 and in 2016, they were asking these exact same questions about people that supported Trump. What has gotten into Phyllis Schlafly? What has gotten into Ann Coulter? You name it. What has gotten into Michael Savage? You name it. All of the people that came out and supported Trump day one, or maybe 2 or 3, I mean, we're talking early on when he announced, this is the exact same stuff that they were saying about all of those people. What happened to you? What's wrong with you? How could you? Now they're saying it about Tucker Carlson. Now they're saying it about Candace Owens. What is happening here is, think what you want about Tucker and Candace. I'm not here to run defense for them. I'm just telling you what's happening. Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are about 5 years ahead of you, and maybe 10. The reason why current MAGA is now questioning original MAGA that's moved on is because you guys are just so far behind us. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to boast. It's just true. This is just the reality. I'm sitting here and I'm watching the exact same commentary about Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson that they used to do about Donald Trump and his supporters in 2015 and 2016. It's the exact same commentary. And now what's happening? Now all of them love Trump. So they hated Trump. We loved Trump. Now they love Trump, and we've got our problems. And in 5 to 10 years, they'll realize everything we said right now was real and true, and then they'll catch up to us. This is kind of the weird game that we're in. And the problem is when you lead from the front like that, it's risky, not just maybe physically risky, if you want to do a battlefield analogy, but I mean, it's risky because you run so far out in front that you're able to see things and report things back to the people there and say, hey, this is what's going on. And they just don't believe you. They just can't believe you. They don't believe it. And it doesn't matter how far ahead of them you've been in the past to get to this point. It's just, that's always how this goes. That's always how this goes. Here's another one. Exact thing they used to say about Trump supporters. I mean, it's like a script. Mike Kavanaugh, Candace Owens is not a Christian. This is the exact thing that was said about Trump supporters from the right wing for 2 years, maybe even 4. Exact same thing. And now all the people that said, oh, you can't be a Christian and support Trump. Now all of the people that said this exact same thing about Trump supporters in 2015 and 2016, now they're all saying it about Candace Owens. So do you get it now? So if this trend continues, in about 4 to 5 years, all of you guys are going to be huge Candace Owens fans. And then I don't know what the rest will be doing. But that's the trend. You guys hated Trump. Now you love Trump. You guys hate Candace Owens. Soon you'll love Candace Owens. You guys loved Tucker Carlson. Now you hate Tucker Carlson. Soon you'll love him again. So these are the 2 things that are very important, I think, to just put into context. The DC political elite donor class, the Trump administration, the media, they are so blind, out of touch, disconnected from what the average American is thinking and feeling that it's beyond ignorance. It's beyond ignorance. It's this really dangerous combination of ignorance and arrogance that they are exhibiting right now. And that's why things are so chaotic and nonsensical, and why we honk the clown horn here. But then they also don't understand all the stuff that you guys are doing and saying now about Candace and Tucker and me and anybody else, you guys did the exact same thing in 2015 and 16 to us when we supported Trump. The exact same thing. And now, are you admitting we were right then? So you're essentially admitting we were right then, which means you might want to consider that we could be right now. Maybe. Now, I do have some stuff coming up on the Iran war, but let me just, I don't want to go all in on this right now, but let's read Trump's statement. So the whole thing is just, it's yikes. I don't know what else you can say. It is a war. It's not a war. The war's over. It's not over. The strait is open. The strait is closed. We're in control. We're not in control. Oh, yeah. Getting whiplash. That's why we're just exiting. We're exiting the ride. We are getting off the ride. We cannot handle the whiplash anymore. So Trump says the terms that Iran leaked out to the fake news have nothing to do with the terms that we agreed to in writing. What they said, including their weak and pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth. Very dishonorable people to deal with. With them, there is no such thing as dealing in good faith. That's how people feel about you now. I don't know, maybe about them too, but and this is the other thing, and I'm going to bring this up later too. I said it's like they're all in a room screaming at one another. The last 48 hours has to be the best example of this, that they're all just screaming at one another. Trump comes out and says, we're close to a peace deal. We're going to have peace this weekend. It's a ceasefire. And normal people are happy. Normal people are like, this is great. We're finally going to stop this war. Maybe we can finally get energy prices down, gas prices down, address some of the domestic issues, fix the country. All right, we're finally done with the Iran war. We're finally getting a peace deal. All right, this is good news. The death and destruction is going to end. Normal people were happy. They were happy with that. They were satisfied with that. They said, you know what? I liked that. Oh, but we know there were people that were very unhappy. Very unhappy. They couldn't stand the thought of a peace deal. They can't stand the thought of Trump not killing more Iranians this weekend. The day that Trump stops killing Muslims in the Middle East is the day these people might lose their minds. It seems like the entire force driving their existence in politics today. And it's like they're all in a room screaming at one another. So we all celebrated. We said, this is great. We're going to have a peace deal. And they start screaming. And they start screaming at one another like, we can't have a peace deal. Iran says there's not a peace deal. Israel says there's not a peace deal. Wait, Iran says these are the terms of the deal. No, those aren't the terms of the deal. And now Trump's back into it. Well, wait a second. Iran said what? They said this, Mr. President. Israel said what? Oh, I didn't say that. But Israel said this. But Iran didn't say that. It's like they're all in a room yelling at one another. And we're in the other room, having a good time, like, oh, we got peace. And we hear the screaming starting again. We're like, what's going on over there? Hey, somebody check over on the bloodlusting psychopaths. Seems to be some commotion in the kitchen with the bloodlusting neocon psychopaths. Somebody want to go check? And they go check, and it's all screaming about who's getting a peace deal, who's not, who's bombing, who needs to be bombed, and all this stuff. And then Trump is like, wait, who said what about a deal? And it's just like, oh, you guys are still at it in here, huh? All right. You guys are still at it, huh? Okay. I thought we had peace. I didn't realize you guys were still at it, yelling at one another in here about us. Yeah, we're out, by the way. We're not even, I don't even know. You guys are talking about us, but we're not listening. So, okay. All right, whatever. So no peace? What's the deal? No peace then? You don't know? No, you guys don't even know either? You're just screaming at one another. All right, okay. Let us know. It's like that. That's what's going on. And it's the best example. It's like, does anybody even know what they're talking about? And folks, I'm in the media. I am living in the media cycle. I basically I basically have a cyber consciousness that is online way too much. I'm like totally connected to the info cyber sphere. And I'm like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Like, what are they, where are they, seriously, I'm like, where are you guys getting any of this about the Iran deal? It's like, first they say Iran doesn't accept the deal. Then they say Iran does accept the deal. Then they release terms of the deal. But then the terms of the deal aren't, it's like, where does any of this even come from? Trump just comes out and says, hey, we got a deal. Have a great weekend. And then Trump comes out responding to what, Laura Loomer? Who is he even responding to? And he says, oh, the terms of the deal aren't real. People are lying to me. It's like, wait, what? What the hell just happened? It's like, I don't even know where, honestly, these people are losing their minds, guys. They're losing their minds. Trump has to get these people away from him. Somebody has to get these people away from Trump. They are losing their minds. I'm telling you, something has gone wrong, guys. Something has gone wrong. And they're playing on Trump's ego. And they're telling him, oh, Mr. President, you're the savior of the Jews. Mr. President, you're the savior of Israel. Mr. President, God is protecting you. You're divine. You're like Jesus Christ. And Trump, like, takes that seriously. And he's like, okay, well, trying to get peace here. All right, I got a peace deal. I'm going to go into the other room for a second, and then all the Israeli firsters, all the neocons, all the foreign loyalists, all get into a room and start screaming and shouting at one another, and then they just like make crap up. It's like no one else is in the room with you guys. Iran isn't in the room. Trump isn't in the room. The rest of us, original MAGA, we're not in the room. It's just you guys. It's just the neocons and the Zionists in a room screaming at one another, and then somehow this stuff eventually, like, Iran hears it, and they're like, wait, what are you guys doing? And then Trump hears it and is like, wait, what did you guys say? And then we hear it and we're like, hey, what's going on? And it's just them. It's literally just a bunch of bloodthirsty psychopaths in a room screaming at one another. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe that this is what the administration has turned into. And yet here it is. And they're just dragging Trump into it. So when we come back, we're going to hit the headlines. We do have some headlines today. But that's where I see things. I don't even think that's an opinion. I don't think it's an opinion. I think that is observable fact. I think most people have reached similar conclusions. And anybody that thinks that this is just my opinion, I'm afraid to tell you, it's not. This is the reality. And if you can't see that, you're not trying. You're living in your own bubble, or you're just rejecting the truth because it goes against your own agenda and your own loyalties. But today's one of those days where I feel like you get the information, and we got more of it. We're going to have a lot more of it. I'm going to bring the receipts coming up, but we're going to lighten it up. We're going to hit some of these headlines, look at this UFC event that's supposed to be happening this weekend. I don't know. The neocons are trying to ruin it for Trump. They're trying to ruin his birthday weekend by making him go into the Situation Room and bomb people. So you can only imagine what Netanyahu and the Israeli lobby is doing right now to try to drag Trump into a war this weekend using his birthday against him. But we'll look at some of that after we cover these headlines on the other side.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
All right, guys, what are you doing to protect your private information online? Do you have a cybersecurity service to make sure that data brokers online cannot buy and sell your information, your address, your email address, your phone number to scammers, hackers? And if the answer to that is no, I haven't done anything about it, well, now's the time. Now's the time to go to patriot-protect.com/Owen and get the cybersecurity. Folks, it's pretty simple. People out there can get your private information, whether it's one of these big hacks into these networks, banking networks, where they have all of these data points, your phone number, email address. And this is how people get access to you and attempt to phish you with false links, call you and tell you, oh, we're from this service. It's all a fraud. Don't become a victim. Don't even set yourself up to become a victim. Get this private information out of hackers and online criminal fraudsters' hands. Don't even allow them to get it. Go to patriot-protect.com/Owen. Not only do they wipe it clean, they take all the information you want off the internet. Not only do they wipe it clean, they then monitor 24/7 to make sure it doesn't pop up again. And if it does, they get rid of it. That's what Patriot Protect does for me. That's what they can do for you. All you got to do is go to patriot-protect.com/Owen and use promo code Owen for 15% off any of their protection plans.
Political light years ahead of the rest. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
Well, to nobody's surprise, the Trump DOJ greenlights the Paramount merger. Yeah, they're giving the Israeli loyalists, the Ellisons, and Barry Weiss control of as much as the media as possible. Obviously, that's for America's interest, though. Obviously, and if you say otherwise, that's because you're a bad person. We know what you are. We know. How dare you? How dare you? All right. You know, I probably spent way too much time crowbarring in the first hour. So let's try to make up for lost time and get to these headlines. This was an easy one, but we predicted it. U.S. judge refuses to block Trump's White House UFC fight. Yeah, I don't think they have a chance with that. So the fight will go on. Quite a setup out there. Quite a setup, isn't it? I wonder, I was thinking about this. I'm thinking, what are they going to do? There's no way it's just there's going to be some twists and turns at this event Sunday. I wonder what kind of twists and turns. I feel like we're going to see something other than just these fights, though. And I don't mean there's going to be some sort of like a political spectacle. I mean like someone's going to do like a grand entry, or I know they got some big pyrotechnic shows. Someone will do some like birthday surprise for Trump. Now, we covered the headlines yesterday, how a bunch of celebrities are opting out. Now, they're starting to talk about this on their streams. I know Aiden Ross was talking about this yesterday, and I had a couple people reach out to me. It's actually, you want to hear something funny, guys? I don't even want to say it, but I'm getting invites now. I'm not going, but yeah. If I'm getting invites, I feel like something is, I don't know. But nonetheless, so the podcast tour that Trump went on during the campaign, a lot of those people, like Aiden Ross, were invited to go be a part of the event, and they've all turned it down. They've all turned it down. Nobody wants to be associated with this anymore, guys. Nobody wants to be associated with neocons. Nobody wants to be politically associated with Zionists, and even Trump. Now, people might still like Trump, and they don't mind being associated or affiliated with Trump, the person, but the politics of it, they want nothing to do with. Nobody cool wants anything to do with this political cringe coming out of the Trump administration. It's all the coolness, all the clout, all the culture. It's all dead. It's all just a cringe cult of death and destruction and broken promises. So they're not going. They're not going. There will be a bunch of military people there. I imagine that's going to end up, it'll probably be a bunch of guys in uniform, bunch of guys and gals in uniform for the optics of it. And then Trump and whoever one of his friends or administration members that want to go. But yeah, Aiden Ross talked about it. I covered the headlines yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if some other people come out and say I was invited and I'm turning it down. Again, folks, the first hour, I'm telling you, it's not my opinion. This stuff is so unpopular. Trump is so unpopular. This administration is so unpopular. The MAGA cult is just not, they just have no clue. No clue. Look at this, though. They always do those rainbow flag. They do the gay flag street crossings for Pride Month. Well, they're not doing it. I don't know. I haven't seen any this year. This is in Monmouth Beach, New Jersey, for America 250. Now that is nice. They painted their crosswalks. So like the crosswalks are red and white stripes. And then they put the stars above them with the blue background, the white stars. That is nice. I would support that. That looks very classy. I think we should do this all summer. I'd like to see that in Austin, Texas. American Pride Month. How would you guys feel about that? Who would even complain about that? Well, we all know who. The people that put up the pride crosswalks, that's who. All right, aliens. This is all so stupid. Aliens are real, guys. I mean, I don't know. That's the story. I've got big breaking news for you. Aliens are real. And nobody cares. Isn't it wild? Honestly, I can't wrap my head around it. I don't even know how to explain it. We're doing the alien disclosure and nobody cares. It got bigger waves when Ancient Aliens debuted on the History Channel. It became so popular. The memes are still alive to this day. You still see the memes getting shared. They even did TV shows spoofs. There was more of a buzz from Ancient Aliens than anything that they've released as far as the Trump administration and disclosure, UFOs and aliens. And you could argue, I guess, that some of the stuff presented, some of the evidence, some of the theories even presented on Ancient Aliens is more convincing than anything that the administration is saying. And yet one is a TV show, one is official government documents. It is weird, though. So it's like they're doing it again. There's no buzz. Nobody's talking about alien life. Nobody's talking about these UFOs. They just released a huge video. The Pentagon released a third batch of UFO files Friday morning, including documents that claim the CIA destroyed a message from space and astronauts talking about an alien starbase on the moon. How is this not exciting? I'm not even excited. I'm not excited. I'm like, I don't even want to cover it. Guys, the CIA had a message from space about an alien starbase on the moon. I mean, what are we doing? Is this real? Newly unearthed recordings of the Apollo moon missions revealed a shocking comment about a possible alien base on the dark side of the moon. A comment that was never added to the official NASA transcript from that day. So we got aliens, we got bases on the moon, we got messages from space, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Another one that came out of this disclosure, UFO over Zimbabwe in summer of 2008 had CIA on high alert. New files reveal. The CIA placed its assets in the African nation of Zimbabwe on high alert in the summer of 2008 after a UFO was spotted hovering directly over the country's main airport. Can you imagine being a CIA asset in Zimbabwe? What do you think you're doing in Zimbabwe for the CIA? The incident of a UFO hovering over a airport in Zimbabwe took place on July 2nd, 2008, is detailed in a cable that was released Friday as part of a third tranche of UFO files made public pursuant to President Trump's February declassification order. So it's like whenever the Iran stuff starts to go sideways, the Israeli assets start dripping the Epstein stuff. Trump starts dripping the alien stuff. And it's always like right when the Iran is starting to become an issue again. Do you want to see these videos, guys? I mean, I've got the video here. Some lights in the sky. I mean, I don't know, something. Maybe you've seen similar things. This is the video that they released. I guess they're claiming this is a UFO here. They have other videos that are going to come up. I don't even know what it is they're claiming this is. They're just claiming this is an orb in the sky and then flashing lights behind it. Folks, this is a real video. This is an actual Department of War video. And it's like the worst CGI you've ever seen. And this is what they're releasing you. Here's some other ones. Again, it's the same stuff. Grainy images of orbs and weird stuff floating in the sky. No context. Nobody knows what it is. But these are the UFOs. I guess eventually they're going to tell us they're aliens. I don't know. And, we don't really talk about, as we're watching this, we don't really talk about all those missing scientists, nuclear physicists, astrophysicists that all died. There's like over a dozen that died or went missing as all of this is going on. That's odd, isn't it? That's strange. Probably a bigger deal than any of this, honestly. You know what's so crazy, guys? I'm about to, it's really just all so crazy. I've got this video that Tulsi Gabbard published this morning about biolabs. Okay, it's crazy. We had the biolabs, so it was real the whole time. We had the biolabs. They were in Ukraine. They're making the gain-of-function viruses, the deadly viruses. This is what caused COVID. It's like, it's all true. And nothing is going to be done, by the way. There's going to be no accountability, by the way. So you're just going to hear about the corruption. They're just going to show you all the blatant, rampant corruption and then do nothing about it. Okay. No, you know what's crazy? This Bongino thing, I don't mean to leap forward, but I can't help myself because this is also crazy. The aliens and the biolabs. So you've got this thing going on with Dan Bongino now and Tucker Carlson. And I've got the Carlson clip that I think spurred it. I don't know if there was anything going on before this, at least not in the public. And Tucker is doing an interview, and he talks about a conversation he had with Bongino about the investigation into the Butler assassination attempt. And Tucker presenting this, and he says he has the texts. I guess we don't need to get him from Tucker anymore because Bongino published them, basically discussing how Trump shut it down. And this became mainstream news a week or two ago because a lot of independent journalists have been pressing this story. A lot of independent journalists, including myself, have been trying to get FOIAs to get information, and they're blocking FOIA requests. So there's a genuine effort inside of independent media to get as much information about this. They're all getting blocked. And then you find out that Trump himself has shut down the entire investigation. Well, that's odd. Well, there's some other connections there that Trump gets into, or I'm sorry, that Carlson gets into. We'll play later on. What's so crazy to me listening to all of this, it's like, okay, why is Trump shutting down this investigation? That's certainly odd. And then what is going on with Dan Bongino, guys? Bongino is getting weirder and weirder. And this isn't an attack on Dan Bongino. This is just a neutral observation. This is like a totally different man. Bongino used to go on air and confident, the bravado, all of it. Like, that was the Bongino show. He's like beyond a shell of himself. He looks like a man staring at a ghost 24/7 on his show now. Totally different energy, totally different vibe. It's like, Dan, what happened at your time in the FBI? Seriously, what happened? And if that's not it, then it's got to be the reality that he cooked the golden goose by going into the FBI and coming back with bubkiss. And maybe that's what it is. But something is going on. And now for the second time, he does this game where he gets into a spat with somebody else in the media. And it's like they did the same thing to Candace Owens. And they released a bunch of text messages. It's like, oh, look at these text messages. It proves my point. And then you read the messages and it proves the exact opposite point. And it's like, it just happened again with Tucker Carlson. And so it's like everything just keeps getting weirder. Everything just keeps getting weirder. And it's like, I think that this is why so many people that were originally MAGA are now looking at this and are freaked out, because it's not just that it doesn't make any sense. It's like, no, it looks like there is like a shadow war happening right now in DC, and it looks like outright people are being held hostage. I mean, Dan Bongino goes on his show looking like a hostage. And now he's doing, it's like he's doing ad reads for data centers. And he's doing these segments telling boomers that they need data centers or they won't get their Social Security. Guys, what is going on? Like something really weird is going on in DC, guys. I mean, something very, very strange is happening with this administration. I don't know what it is, but when you've got Dan Bongino going back to his show, a shell of himself, looking like a ghost, promoting data centers to boomers, when you've got Trump shutting down the investigation into his assassination attempt, and basically from that moment on, all of his policies changed, by the way, in case you didn't notice. After the assassination attempt, Trump became a completely different politician. Okay. It's kind of weird. And now you've got this situation. We're learning about aliens and all these scientists and physicists. They're all dying. Guys, something weird is going on. And this is where the MAGA cult wants you to be. They just want you to be dead like them. They want you to be dead on the inside, dead on the outside like them. Hey, don't observe the world around you. Don't look at the world around you. Don't notice things around you. Just shut up and just live your life. Just shut up. Everything's great. Notice how this is what they tell you. And it's amazing how it all switches. Oh, when Biden is in office, everything's bad. Everything's collapsing. Everything's the worst ever. And then Trump gets in office. Nothing else changes. Just Trump gets in office. Nothing else changes. And now all of a sudden everything's great and you just need to live with it. What is that? That's weird. But it's like, that's what it is. It's like you're sitting here observing things, wondering what the hell's going on. And they're just like, hey, shut up. Stop asking questions. The 30-06 got stopped by a Superman bone. Come on. Come on. Don't ask questions. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Oh, so Trump shut down his assassination investigation. So what? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Just accept it. It's fine. So what? All of these scientists are dying and disappearing and while this disclosure is happening. So what? Stop asking questions. Your life is better than ever. Your life is great. The economy is great. It's like, hold on a second. What are you trying to do to me here? Do you think I'm an imbecile? Do you think I'm a child? You're not going to lull me to sleep. It's like, that's what this new MAGA cult thinks that they can do, is just lull you to sleep. Oh, everything's fine. Everything's good. Don't ask questions. Don't worry about anything. It's all great. We're in control now. It's fine. No, it's not, actually. And now you look extremely suspicious telling me it is fine. And you have no idea now the position you put yourself in. You now are standing in the way of the American Revolution and the deep state. I hope you understand that. This new MAGA cult, you guys have put yourself in a very bad position because no one is going to have your back, by the way. No one. If you think anybody in politics is going to have your back, if you think any government is going to have your back, I got really bad news for you. If you think Trump is going to have your back, if you think Netanyahu is going to have your back, if you think anybody is going to have your back when this is all said and done, I've got really bad news for you. I'm actually trying to help you. This new MAGA cult, specifically the Israel First wing of it, you guys need to understand, you are standing in the way. This is how it's perceived, by the way. This is the perception. This is the perspective that most people have on this issue right now. And this is why people are going to go vote Democrat, by the way. It's not even that they like Democrats. They just are sick of you. They just want you out of the way. You have to get out of the way. You understand? This new MAGA cult, this new Israel First MAGA neocon coalition, to the average American now that got Trump in office 3 times, to the true American patriot, to the one that actually will stick their neck out there, to the one that actually will bust a grape in a food fight, they all look at you as, you're in our way. Get out of our way. Get out of our way. Neocons, get out of our way. Israel lobby, get out of our way. Get out of the way. And if you don't get out of the way, I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know this. Nobody's going to have your back. Nobody's going to have your back. all of these alliances you think you've made in the political world, they don't exist, in case you haven't noticed. They're worth nothing. Let me tell you from experience, it means nothing. It's worthless. And when all of this stuff goes down, whatever they got planned for us, and you know it's coming. When all of this stuff goes down, war, energy, crash, stock market, whatever it is, they're going to hit us with it. When all of this stuff goes down, no one will have your back. And all of us are going to be staring right at you saying, get out of the way now. Get out of the way. You guys blocked us from saving the country once. Get out of the way. We had the opportunity to save this country politically with Trump, and you guys ruined everything, and now you're standing in our way. Get out of the way. And yes, if we have to go vote Democrat to get you out of the way, then we will do that. Get out of the way. Here's the analogy. Let's go with the left-right paradigm, since it dominates the political science of this country, the political execution in this country. So you got two routes to choose. You got two lanes, let's say, Democrats, Republicans. The goal is a better country. The goal is freedom, prosperity, let's say. The goal is freedom and prosperity, and it's all the way down here. Now, the problem with these two lanes is the finish line, freedom and prosperity. The Democrat lane, there's a wall. You can't get to the finish line. Now, you might right now be able to get farther. You might be able to gain more ground if you go down the Democrat path, because they're not as cult-minded and psychotic as the right is now. And we may have our political issues, but you can get closer to the finish line now with a Democrat vote. But there's a wall. You'll never get to freedom and prosperity with the Democrats. There will always be that wall there. Now you have the right lane. You have the right wing. Vote Republican. That path will take you. That path has an opening to freedom and prosperity. This is why we choose the right wing, because we want to get to freedom and prosperity. The problem is the neocons and the Israel lobby is standing in the way. They have to get out of the way. And so, yes, if we have to vote Democrat to get you guys out of the way, then we will, because there is no other path to freedom and prosperity. That's the analogy. The left-wing path is blocked because they built a wall. You're not allowed to have freedom and prosperity from the left. They built a wall. The right, we can do it on the right, but there's a wall of a political ideology. The neoconservatives and the Zionists, there's a wall of this political coalition standing in the way of the right-wing path to get to freedom and prosperity. And now we've realized it because we've been banging heads with you guys again, and you've stopped us again from achieving it. So now we've realized, okay, yes, the path to freedom and prosperity as we see it is on the political right, but there is a wall of a political ideology that is stopping us from getting there. So how do we get rid of this wall? What do we do to remove this political blockade in the right wing of American politics so that we can use the right wing as a vehicle to achieve freedom and prosperity that they're currently blocking because they want all of it for their interests? That's the question. You know what? I won't play the video. Tulsi Gabbard comes out. It's real. All the biolabs, including in Ukraine, it was real. It was always real. They're building biological weapons. They're releasing viruses. And then they'll do nothing about it, by the way. So they make the virus in the lab. They release the virus. And then they sell you the vaccine for the virus. The Trump administration has just awarded hundreds of millions of dollars to Pfizer for COVID vaccines. That's right. $735 million just awarded to Pfizer by the CDC for infant COVID shots. Another $500 million awarded for adult vaccines. So over $1 billion for Pfizer from the Trump administration today, guys. How do you like that, MAGA? There it is, right there. From their official website. Isn't that nice? Just a nice check cut to Pfizer for COVID vaccines, guys. I mean, total betrayal. I mean, just like ridiculous levels of betrayal. Congratulations, guys. The American taxpayer just paid for a deadly injection. Way to go, guys. Way to go. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, MAGA. I wonder if Maha will say anything about this. I wonder if RFK Jr. will say anything about this. Probably not. Probably not. Oh, it's the Special Interest Administration, isn't it? EPA won't set nationwide standards for data centers. So, of course not. Of course. Anything to turn America into an AI surveillance state data center, right? Am I right, guys? MAGA, baby. That's MAGA. Trump announced he is nominating Jay Clayton. So the Pulte thing, I don't know if there was an agenda there or what, but the Pulte thing didn't last. Now it's going to be Jay Clayton. And wow, Jay Clayton from the Southern District of New York. Isn't that great, MAGA? MAGA, aren't we so happy? The Southern District of New York, known for its conservative principles when it comes to justice. The Southern District of New York, known for how well it handled the Epstein case. The Southern District of New York, something that right-wingers, conservatives never complain about corruption, ever. We always talk about how great it is, and we're finally rewarding it by appointing Jay Clayton as the next director of national intelligence. Literally the guy from arguably the most corrupt district that just totally fumbled the Epstein investigation, and now that person is going to be the director of national intelligence. Isn't it nice? It's never been more obvious, the connection between all of these people. Really amazing, isn't it? Golly gee, I wonder where it could be coming from, guys. Such a mystery. But don't worry, you're going to learn more about Jay Clayton. It doesn't just stop with the Southern District of New York. Apparently, they're trying to take Trump's name off the Kennedy Center. Trump administration appeals judge's ruling over removing president's name from the Kennedy Center. This story is like, it reads out like a comedy, but it makes sense. So I guess Trump just decides he's going to put his name on the Kennedy Center. He just decides that. And nobody says no to Trump. So Trump decides it, and then he does whatever it needs to do to get it done. If he has to go to 100 different people, eventually he'll find somebody that'll do it. So Trump just says, put my name on the Kennedy Center. And they're like, Mr. President, there is some things that need to be done first. It's like, I don't want to hear it. You got to put my name. And I think actually they wanted to just have it the Trump Center. I think originally they wanted to take Kennedy out of it and just make it the Trump Center. But that would have caused even more legal issues. So Trump said, oh, just add my name then. And they were like, sir, there's filings, there's paperwork, there's requests, there's a process here. We can't just put your name. I don't care. I'm Donald Trump. I'm the president. Put my name up. So it's just total ridiculousness. And the judge is like, you guys didn't go through any of the paperwork. You didn't do any of the necessary filings to put your name on the center. You got to take it down. And they're just like, no, we're not doing it. It's a Trump Center. I mean, this stuff is hilarious, honestly. It'd be hilarious if they weren't just totally destroying our country. It would be hilarious if Trump didn't just totally betray us and sell us out, and this whole thing is a disaster now. Otherwise, I mean, it's pretty damn funny, you got to say. Just put my name up there. I don't care about the law. I don't care about whatever this paperwork is. Just put the name up. Fine, you won't do it? Great, you're fired. Let's bring in the next one. Will you put my name on the Kennedy Center? No, sir, that's illegal. You're fired too. In fact, you right there, you're next in line. You're fired. Just to make an example, you're fired. I don't even know what you're going to say. You're fired. Is there anyone here that will put my name on the Kennedy Center? And then they just do it. He can't get enough of himself, man. He cannot get enough of himself. Speaking of the Epstein class, German model was missing for 11 years, named in the Epstein files. The family, no word on this girl for years, and then they find her in the Epstein files. Isn't that amazing? Missing German model linked to Epstein in newly released files. Cold case revived. Missing since 2015. Appears in the Epstein files, prompting renewed scrutiny of her disappearance. German prosecutors may open a criminal investigation. Can you imagine that? Your daughter goes missing for years, and then you see that she's being talked about in the Epstein files? Wow. Family fears death as name of German model missing for 11 years appears in Epstein files. It's always the models, too. You know, guys, I got to tell, I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to be honest. And I think we have to consider this. I really do. Trump with this Epstein thing is looking worse every day, guys. I'm just going to say it. I'm not making any accusations. I'm not reaching any conclusions. All right. I know. Okay. But folks, it's starting to look bad. I mean, let's just be honest. It's starting to look really bad. And even if you want to say it's as innocent of Trump was just, friends with Epstein for a while, that excuse is starting to lose its credibility. It's starting to, folks, it's starting to look really bad. I'm just going to say it. It's starting to look really bad. And I don't know what it is. And I think whatever it is certainly being used to manipulate Trump. I mean, I think whatever it is, whatever the involvement is, it's clearly being used to manipulate Trump and get him to do these wars. Now, there's another rumor about something Trump said about Marion Adelson, and then the next day Butler happened. I don't know. That may pop up. If I find anything more legitimate about that, maybe I'll look into it. The whole thing is just weird. But I don't know, guys. The Trump Epstein thing, I think, is starting to look worse. And I'll just go ahead and say it. And again, I'm not making any accusations. I'm not reaching any conclusions. But for me, it's starting to cross a threshold of this Epstein cover-up and this Epstein administration. It's getting so in your face that it's starting to look really bad for Trump. Really bad. So bad that I'm now thinking, this whole Trump turned Epstein in, and Trump found out that, Epstein was trafficking the girls or whatever. By the way, Trump is named as a known in these FBI witness documents that just came out that got published. So again, Trump doesn't bomb Iran. Now they release an FBI document that said Trump was trafficking young girls to his golf club for Epstein. It's like, oh, isn't that amazing how that works? That's an FBI document. So now I just have to ask myself, did Trump turn in Epstein because he knew he was going down? This whole, hey, Epstein cooperated with the FBI. Trump cooperated with the FBI. Trump helped bring Epstein down. Trump was part of the thing to get Epstein. Now I'm starting to think that was an act because they knew Epstein was going down, and Trump had to come out against Epstein so that he didn't go down with them. And the agreements were all made behind the scenes with the attorneys, with the lawyers. And then Epstein gets the sweetheart deal, and then he gets out. And then all of a sudden Trump gets in, and now he's in jail again. Now he's dead. Now you got all these associates of Epstein surrounding the Trump administration. I mean, folks, this is getting too much to deny, honestly. It's getting to be too much to deny. And I think, too, and I'm not a big Trump Epstein guy. Like, that's not really, I don't play that card. This is the most I've ever even thought about playing that card. But aside from whatever I think, you go look at that debate. Many of you have probably seen the America First versus MAGA debate. The Epstein thing is their Achilles heel. Nothing looks worse than the Epstein thing. I mean, even the wars, you can get people to, turn their head or get over, unfortunately. But the defense of the Epstein thing That's like unconscionable. And yet now you see the MAGA cult. That's where they're at. The MAGA cult is now running defense for Jeffrey Epstein. All the different operatives, all the different agents posing as members of the independent media, all of them are running cover for the Epstein deal. And then it's Trump in the White House. And then it's all the Republicans that voted for the Epstein Disclosure Act, Massey, Boebert, Mace, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Trump campaigned against all four of them, and AIPAC spent tens of millions of dollars in campaigns against them. Folks, this pile of evidence is getting real bad. It's getting real bad. Could it be so bad that they could get Trump to bomb a school of young girls? Is it so compromised that they could trick Trump into bombing a school of young girls, and now they've got more blackmail on him? This thing is getting so bad. Now, here's Michael Savage. And there was hope when I saw that Trump was talking to Savage again. And I thought, okay, this is good. If Trump is talking to Michael Savage again, maybe there's hope. If Trump hangs up the phone on Laura Loomer and picks it up and talks to Savage, maybe we have some hope. But I don't think that's happening. Savage posted this morning. Trump picks Biden's grotesque support for Zelensky's Ukraine. All the promises were lies. The war party has total control. Folks, that's coming from Michael Savage, who, yes, is a big supporter of Israel. Michael Savage is a big supporter of Israel, a staunch advocate for the Jews. But he understands there's a war party. He understands that Netanyahu is the problem. He's vocalized these things, and he's right. And he's right. And he's way more rational than anybody else in that realm. And I think the same people that block Michael Savage from all the different radio stations, and I think the same people that block Michael Savage from all the different TV networks, and I think the same people that block Michael Savage from traveling to the UK, I think those same people are gatekeeping Michael Savage out of Trump's ear. You think whatever you want about Savage, and you can have your issues with the foreign policies. Michael Savage as an advisor or an ear or a voice in Trump's ear is 10 times better than anything you're getting right now. 10 times better, I can promise you that. And I believe somebody is gatekeeping Michael Savage away from Donald Trump. And I kind of feel like, to a certain degree, this is even Savage sending that alarm to Trump, because they're not letting him talk to Trump anymore. And so he can't get the message out. So instead he's saying, hey, the war party's still in control. What is going on here? And he's right. And it's never been more obvious. But here we go. All right. And by the way, Michael Savage was with Trump day one. He is an original MAGA. And actually, if you go read his book, Trump's War, it gives you a lot of perspective on the things that could have gone right and the things that didn't go at all. He published that in 2016 or 17. So now we get into the never Trumpers that are now the MAGA cult. And it might be true to say, if you're currently MAGA, you were never MAGA. Now, I'm going to go down a list. I brought the receipts, so I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is a small fraction of it. All the current MAGA people, which is comprised, the new coalition of MAGA is neocons and Israel loyalists or even Zionists. It depends on how you want to phrase it. But that's what it is. We all see it. That's the new MAGA coalition, and that's all there is. Now, the problem is the neocons and the Israeli loyalists, they only really have one issue politically. They really don't care about the economy. They really don't care about the border. They really don't care about anything. The only thing they care about is America's foreign policy benefiting Israel. That is the only thing they care about. Nothing else matters to these people. And the results of this administration, that's your evidence, that's your proof. But there's more evidence, there's more proof when anytime Trump even looks the other way on foreign policy, anytime Trump even hesitates on Iran, anytime Trump tries to get a peace deal, all the current MAGA coalition turns against Trump. They all turn their back on Trump and they call him a loser and they attack him because all they care about is Israel. And this is the big reveal. So now you see, it's like, look at all the broken promises that original MAGA is actually upset about. No mass deportations, no deep state arrests, no new wars. Right? It's like we can go on and on and on the exact policy issues that we voted on and the administration has totally abandoned. And then the one thing that the administration is committed to is a war with Iran for Israel. And so now here's the MAGA coalition telling you how great everything is. But then as soon as the Iran war is off, all of a sudden everything sucks and he's the worst president ever. So that shows you what they're really all about. That shows you where their loyalties truly lie and what their agenda truly is and how they're using America and using Trump to do it. So here's Mark Levin. Get ready, guys. Mark Levin says, if all these governments have agreed on this deal, it's amazing how all these governments signed up so fast while we were announcing we'd be bombing ASAP. Since it's done, can we see it? And what is in this deal? Can we see it? So this is what I'm talking about earlier. It's like these people are all in a room yelling at each other. Who is Mark Levin talking about? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking about? Where are you trying to get your information from? These weird paranoid schizophrenic freaks, man, they're all sitting in a room yelling at one another. They don't realize everyone else has left the room because we're sick of them. And now they're pissed at Trump because he won't bomb Iran. And now they're attacking Vance. Because we all know the Israeli lobby wants Rubio. So now they're all attacking Vance. They're saying J.D. Vance is a puppet of Iran. He's the mullah's pet. He's the enemy of Western civilization. From Nicholas Lissack. Oh, look at that, an Israeli flag in his bio. The fact that he stands one step from the presidency is terrifying. You know, maybe Vance is actually Trump's safety net. Maybe we've misunderstood what J.D. Vance's role was. I mean, yeah, he's the big tech guy. So Vance is the big tech lobby guy. That's their part of the deal, that they get Vance in there. But I think Trump, Vance might be Trump's safety net. Vance might be Trump's safety net in that they know if they kill Trump and Vance becomes president, he is not going to neocon it up. He's not going to neocon it up, and he's not going to commit to a war in the Middle East or with Iran. That's why you see the Israeli lobby attacking Vance. I think it's pretty clear, folks. Look, think what you want about Vance. I'm not endorsing him, but I think it's pretty obvious at this point. The Israeli lobby, the foreign lobby, they want Rubio. They're scared to death of Vance because they know he's not a neocon, and they know his geopolitical instincts, as far as America is concerned, is get the hell out of the Middle East. It's not popular anymore. So now you see all the Israeli lobbyists attacking Vance. Oh, yes, you guys have the right to dictate what Americans do. Fuck you, man. You entitled, psychotic freaks. You warmongering, bloodlusting freaks. We will get you off our back. America will be free. You will not steal our country's blood and treasure. You will not do it. You've gotten away with it enough. It's coming to an end. But see, Trump won't bomb Iran. They all turn on Trump. Isn't that amazing? Here's another one. Jonathan Conricus, former IDF spokesperson, Israel flag and bio. Yeah, these guys are real committed to Trump, aren't they, guys? Oh, yeah, they love Trump. Yeah, they love Trump as far as they can convince him to kill people for them, because these people won't do it. I guess these people don't want to go into Iran. Huh? I guess the Israelis don't want to fight Iran without America, huh? Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? He says, I'm pretty sure the Iranian people in general feel betrayed by the U.S. for this looming deal with their oppressors. They're not alone. Israelis, Emiratis, Lebanese, and Bahrainese, to name a few, probably share the same sentiment. Not a good look for the leader of the free world. So here is another Israeli loyalist trying to dictate America's future because he's an entitled a-hole. Oh, yes. Oh, no. He says, how many? He says 5 foreign nations feel betrayed by Trump now because he won't kill them. 5 foreign nations feel betrayed by Trump now because he won't kill people in the Middle East for them. Do you even listen to yourselves? By the way, what country is Trump president of? Oh, that's right, the United States of America. Isn't that funny? None of you complained when Americans felt betrayed. None of you complained when Trump voters felt betrayed. You told us to shut up. You called us names. You said you didn't want us. You didn't need us. And you went woke right. And now, oh, Iran is betrayed by Trump. Israel is betrayed by Trump. So what? So what? Those are foreign countries. I don't get this entitlement. This is a taught entitlement. This is a serious problem right here. This entitlement. Why is it that you think you are entitled to America's blood and treasure? Why? Why do you think the president of the United States owes loyalty to foreign nations? Why do you think that? Where do you get off? I can't wait. I can't wait till the day happens again when Americans emerge from this as the superiors. I can't wait again till Americans emerge from this as the freedom, prosperity capital of the world. And these people realize you're not entitled to anything of ours. Get away. You aren't entitled to loyalty. You aren't entitled to money. You aren't entitled to our military. And yes, it is a much bigger deal if Trump betrays the American people than if Trump betrays the Iranian or the Israeli people. But of course, this whole thing is a lie. Imagine being so politically and geopolitically ignorant that you think the world is going to be mad if Trump doesn't start a war with Iran. You guys are so, I don't even know what the word is, honestly. It's beyond ignorant. It's not even brainwashed. You guys choose this. It goes back to entitlement. You guys have like a weird Messiah complex entitlement. You don't understand it. You guys are in total denial. Nobody likes Israel. Nobody. There's not a country on earth right now where Israel has a favorable approval rating, except maybe India. Maybe. Every other country on earth, Israel is in the negative approval rating, and it's tanking. By the way, it's tanking. And you're going to sit here and say, gee, the whole world is going to be mad if Trump doesn't kill more Iranians for Israel. It's the opposite. The whole world will take a breath of relief. The whole world will finally relax for a second if Israel actually stops killing people and Trump says, hey, we're done here. The whole world will take a collective sigh of relief if Trump finally brings Israel to heel. Anything else just puts the world on edge again. But see, oh, there it is. Trump won't bomb Iran. They turn on Trump. Should I continue? Sure, why not? Here's the Jewish idea. I'm a Jew and I'm proud. 24,000 followers on X. Dear Iranian people, I'm sorry. Help did not come. That's funny. So why don't you go in? Where are you at? Why don't you go in and help the Iranians then? I'm sorry. It's so funny. I keep hearing about America needs Israel. I keep hearing about Israel can do it on their own. So then do it. So then why is it now that Trump is saying we're done, you guys start freaking out and that you can't do it? And now you're apologizing? Go do it. Go ahead, Israel. Go ahead. No, because everybody knows the truth. Without the United States of America, I don't know what happens to Israel. But they're not getting away with what they're doing. I know that. I know that. If the United States of America is not backing Israel with its military, they're not bombing Iran. No, they're not doing what they're doing in Palestine and the West Bank and the Golan Heights and Lebanon and everywhere else. Israel is not sitting here on this campaign of death and destruction without America's military might standing behind them. And everybody knows it. And that's why the minute Trump blinks and the minute Trump considers pulling back from this, they all freak out because justice might finally come for them. And they might finally have to answer independently for all the death and destruction that they've caused. And that's what scares them the most. That's why they're freaked out, because they know what they've done. And they just hope that Big Brother USA will stand here to protect them. And we're about up. We're about done with that. Because we're not bad people. We're not going down with that. Here's another one. Iranian flag, Israel flag, Noah Berg. You've probably seen this one. She's mad because Trump is trying to get a peace deal with the IRGC. She's warning Trump, they don't negotiate in good faith. I'm not going to spend more time pulling my hair out over this mess. Oh, it's a mess now. Isn't that funny? We said it was a mess day one, and you called us panicans. Now you guys realize it's a mess. Isn't that ironic? But it's only a mess when Israel can't get what it wants, right, guys? You see, all of this hate. This is MAGA, by the way. This is currently MAGA. Eric Erickson, he shares a picture of Trump as a clown now. The president should be embarrassed because he won't bomb Iran, because he won't kill people in the Middle East. What is wrong with you people? And this is current MAGA. It shows you all of current MAGA is about one thing and one thing only, and that's Israel. And that's why as soon as Trump stops killing people on Israel's behalf, they all turn on Trump, every single one of them. So you want me to go on? I'll go on. Hebrew Hammer. I cannot allow myself to believe that God saved Donald Trump and has allowed him to screw this up. I mean, these are sick people, man. And by the way, this is what they tell Trump. They say, Trump, God saved you so you could save the Jews. They say, Trump, God saved you so you could save Israel. And he believes it. This is current MAGA. They've all turned on Trump because he won't kill people for them. Here's another one. Banshee, a huge Israel loyalist. He says, this would be the most decisive military defeat in American history if we agree to these terms. So this is how they're manipulating Trump, by the way. Somebody puts a fake story out there, and then it gets to Trump, and then he gets pissed, and it ruins the peace deal. So that's what it is. So Trump just wanted a weekend off. He says, okay, there's a deal. I'm just taking a weekend off. Somebody plants a fake story in the media. Then they bring it to Trump to piss him off so that he gets back involved in the war. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Look at this. So when the Democrats were in charge, we all agreed the government was corrupt. You know, this was like, if we didn't win this election, the country could be over, right? It was dire straits. We had to elect Trump. Everything's corrupt. It's really bad. But now they all say it's good. Here's an example. Again, Israel loyalist, current MAGA, turns his back on Trump because he won't kill Iran. He's attacking John Kiriakou because John Kiriakou goes on a podcast and says, fuck the American government. So Eaton Fishburger is complaining, dual citizen of Israel. So he's complaining, former IDF. He's complaining because John Kiriakou says, fuck the American government. He's upset about that. So I ask him, I say, fuck the American government. Do you disagree? He responds, he just shares a clip of me in a debate. So I say, yeah, that's me. Now, do you want to answer my question? So he disagrees. He does not say fuck the American government. He says, I actually think America is pretty great. I said the government. Then he clarifies. He says, and the government, for all its flaws, has largely been a force for good. And there you have it. Folks, this is everything right here. The only reason and the only time that they support the U.S. government is when it works for Israel. That's it. And you can see it right here. As soon as Trump says, I want peace in the Middle East, they all turn on him. They don't care about reforming the government. They don't care about saving the country. They don't care about mass deportations. They don't care about the economy. They don't give a damn about America. And the minute they get control of the U.S. government, it's good again. As long as the U.S. government benefits Israel, the government's great. And that's all they care about. And they're showing their hand. They're all revealing themselves today. They're all showing their true loyalties today. And for this, I think we have to thank Donald Trump. I really do. Imagine being such a cuck. Imagine being you are a communist. You are a redcoat. What happened to America? You guys like the government? Who are you? What are you? Get out of my country. You are not an American. If you like government, if you believe in authority of government, if you believe in foreign influence, dictating foreign policy to benefit foreign countries, you're not an American. I don't care what your citizen status is. There's a citizenship status, and then there's a heart and soul. There's a citizenship status, there's a birth certificate, and then there's a heart, and there's a soul. And you don't have it. If you don't have a natural disdain for government and authority, you are not an American. Kiss my ass. And if you love government so much when it benefits Israel, then why don't you go move to Israel? No one's stopping you. Oh yeah, you don't want to move to Israel. And we all know why. Because Israel is hated so much because it can't stop killing its neighbors that nobody wants to live there. You all have to live in bunkers or flee the country because you can't stop pissing your neighbors off. So you come move here and you manipulate our government to do work on your behalf. And we're sick of it. We're sick of it. And if the only time you want to support the U.S. government is when it works for a foreign country, then that just tells me who you are. A foreign loyalist, a dual loyalist, a traitor, a traitor. You might have an American citizenship status, but you are no American. I don't know if I can take it anymore. Let's just take a break here.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
Well, I think it's fair. We can just say that's your crash out of the day. I think that's your crash out of the day. Brought to you by crashoutenergy.com. The best, cleanest, healthiest energy drink on the planet. The official energy drink of the Owen Report. Made by me for us. Crashout.energy. Secure your canister today.
No, que stop this. 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 No, you stop this. No, you stop this.
Back to the show with your favorite talk show host, Tits McGee.
No, you stop this.
Yeah, what? I don't know, guys. I don't know if I can do the heavy hitting in the final hour of a Friday show. I got to be honest. We got a little hot and bothered there. Problem is, I got so much other news to cover, and I try to avoid any leftovers. Like, do we need more disgust from Randy Fine? Do we need more disgust from Laura Loomer? You know what? It's a Friday. I don't want to show you these monsters. They're using AI images to invoke the Holocaust to get you to continue to support the death and destruction, which of course is ironic considering the only country that is mimicking what the Nazi Germans did is Israel. The only ethno-nationalist supremacy state in the world is Israel. The only one even comparable to the Nazis is Israel. So it is ironic. But Huckabee is sharing AI images of the Holocaust to invoke this war against Iran. They're even getting community noted on it. That's how pathetic they are. And then Netanyahu is basically admitting that he's been running U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East for 30 years. He basically admits it. He brags about this on X today. So, so we were all proven right. Netanyahu has been lying to and manipulating the United States into a foreign policy that benefits Israel, as they continue to kill Christians, by the way, including one of the oldest Christian villages in the world, Tabah, burning. Israel set Christian village on fire. And they're blocking the firefighters from going in there and putting out the blaze. Israel is really good at destroying and stealing and being the victims while it's all happening. Really amazing, isn't it? It's like, you know, Carmelo Anthony is the victim, and so is Israel. It's the same thing. Carmelo Anthony is the victim. Israel is the victim. It's the same thing. And then the rational response, which is, hey, he stabbed a guy to death. It's like, oh, no. It's like, wait a second. Israel killed a bunch of people. Oh, no. It's amazing. I got Albanian protesters laughing at the lies told by Ivanka Trump. I mean, oh, my God. The lies Ivanka Trump told are unbelievable. I mean, she just lied about the whole island. They're still out there protesting. Israel is they were gonna vote to give $1 billion to Israelis to go settle Palestine. So they're getting ready for their occupation. They're conquering, you can call it. That's fine. But that's what it was all about. October 7th was a stand down, and then they did a military style demolition, and now Israel's getting in there to move in and conquer the land. And I don't know where the Palestinians will go. Maybe the Israelis will offer them a concentration camp, or some land, some property. Maybe they'll just force them out. After all, they say they don't exist. Jerry Seinfeld says Palestinians don't exist. Randy Fine says Palestinians don't exist, but they're the good guys. They're the good guys. And now the Israeli government's going to vote for $1 billion to take Palestine now. That's what it was always about, by the way. That's what it was always about. The Democrats are complaining because Elon Musk is a trillionaire today. the Democrats are complaining. And Gavin Newsom, he's upset that Musk is a trillionaire. Maybe he's upset because Musk moved his companies out of California. He says, Plutarch warned us 2,000 years ago that the imbalance between rich and poor is the oldest and most fatal ailment of our republics. We have got to democratize our economy so that it works for all. Well, that's straight up communist propaganda. Democratize our economy? No, we believe in a free market. We believe in a free market. Now, the problem is this is a winning message right now. The problem is Americans are so broke that this is a winning message. And even people that hate communism will vote Democrat just out of a survival mechanism, because if they have a hope that the Democrats can fix their financial situation, then they'll vote for it, because the Republicans obviously aren't doing it. But yes, the haves and have-nots is an issue. But here's the problem. It should be, the focus should be on the free market. But also, as I see all these people attacking him, and Graham Plantner is attacking him today. He says, let's make sure Elon Musk is the world's first trillionaire. Let's make sure he's also the last. What? Let's make sure he's the last. So, yeah, I mean, this is pure communist propaganda. And this is such a demotivational thing to just say, we as politicians are going to stop you from being prosperous. We as politicians are going to make sure that you can't be successful as your wildest imagination. That's what they're telling you. But you know what they're not telling you? That this deal today, and hey, think whatever you want about it. Think whatever you want about it. But they're not telling you that this deal today made about 100 people millionaires. And I'm not talking about stock market people. Because actually, they, I don't know all the stuff that goes down when they do these IPOs. And obviously, this one is the biggest one ever by far. But they actually limited the sales today. It was very hard. I thought it would be a lot easier today to take advantage of this IPO. And if you wanted to flip it, or if you wanted to just, get as much as you could. No, this thing was tight today. Basically, it was hard unless you were in on the negotiations, or unless you were like BlackRock that put $5 billion in. It was hard for people to get any of this. I mean, they basically limited you to one. And there were all kind of issues today on the Robinhood app with it. I mean, the whole thing was just a pain in the ass. So the people that became a millionaire from this stock launch today were actual employees of SpaceX, engineers, welders, like technicians, electricians, like people that actually go and work, people that put in like 55-hour work weeks at SpaceX and were making like $20 an hour and taking stock options. So we're talking about like good, hardworking Americans. And by the way, some of them had some feature stories today: black, white, Mexican, you name it, all kinds of people. So you guys are complaining about Musk becoming a trillionaire. Musk's success and SpaceX's success just made hardworking men and women millionaires. This is a success story. This is not a failure story. SpaceX and Elon Musk is a financial success story. And if you do want to wage a complaint, the only fair complaint I would see is the government contracts. That's the only fair complaint that I would see about Elon Musk becoming a trillionaire. I don't want to hear anything else. Oh, we got to make sure there's no more trillionaires. Do you realize that there are people that work for Elon Musk that he has made successful too and made wealthy too? Like, that's what the free market does. That's what capitalism does. Now, do we have a problem in this country with economic disparity? Absolutely. I talk about that probably more than anybody else on the right. But that doesn't mean we demonize success. That doesn't mean we legislate success out of the country. That is certainly not the answer. But the Democrats are reminding you who they are today as well. It's one of those days where everybody just sucks. And then we got to go watch Team USA probably just blow it tonight. I don't even want to go there. You know how MAGA and Trump claims that all the Democrat trans stuff is dead. No, it's not. Another total lie. They had a trans drag show for kids in the Minneapolis City Hall yesterday. And the mayor was there. A drag trans kids show with trans kids there dancing in attendance at the Minneapolis City Hall. So MAGA just lies. They just make it up. We got rid of the trans stuff. You didn't. No, you didn't. There's still women in boys sports. There's still trans stuff everywhere. You're just lying. But that's just because you're not doing anything except bad foreign policy. That's why you have no idea what's going on. Sweden ditches plan to imprison 13-year-old serious offenders. So these are migrants that come in here and join gangs. So you had all this migrant gang crime of teenagers running rampant in Sweden. So they had to consider this new plan to build an entire new jailing and prison system for all these migrant gang members. But it looks like they're putting it on hold for now. Now, did you guys see what happened in Spain yesterday? This is an amazing moment. Sagrada Familia has finally been completed, ladies and gentlemen. This thing took, I think, over 100 years to build. It has to be maybe the most beautiful building in the world. Is it not the most beautiful building in the world? I'd like to know if there's one more beautiful. Maybe. I mean, really, this video doesn't even do it justice. I mean, this structure is a monstrosity, folks. This thing is huge. So they just opened it. They're doing a very extravagant fireworks display here. If you're watching, you can see it. You know, Spain is such an enigma. Spain has great foreign policy. Spain has foreign policy that I envy. But their domestic policy is way too liberal for my taste. But man, they really understand how to just stay isolated from the world's problems. I'm jealous of them for that. But man, how amazing. I've even got some footage, I think, from inside here. Can get a peek inside. We need to protect that site from the Middle East holy wars at all costs. Right? Protect that site from the Middle East holy wars at all costs, please. What do we want to do here? I've got the Tucker Bongino thing. I've got a couple Bongino things. I've got the other side. You know what? Let's do this in fairness. We played some of the bad stuff. I think we should be good. We played some of the bad stuff from yesterday with the car. You know what, though? Let's not. I'm cutting it. I'm just going to cut it. But I will say this. Yesterday, I think we saw the worst of the responses from the Carmelo Anthony verdict with the things that we saw that were so bad they get strikes on YouTube. We're seeing the other side today. We're seeing rational Americans, yes, black Americans, come out on the rational side of things and speak sense to it. And so there is a conversation happening over there. I'm just not going to play it for the sake of time and just, I don't know, this stuff apparently gets strikes on YouTube and they'll ban you for it. So I'm just not going to take the risk late in the show today. But just know it's going on. Just know it's out there. It's going on. And it's like even the people that went up and showed up at Austin Metcalf's grave and were desecrating it, even they're getting called out. So there is a conversation happening on that side about all of it. The data center stuff, still not popular. Brad Paisley urges followers to sign petition against proposed data center next to Nashville Zoo. It's got almost 500,000 signatures. Zelensky is committing crimes in Ukraine. Zelensky removes Soviet star decoration from Kiev's hero city. 12 hero cities of the USSR, which fought fiercely against Nazi invasion, well, they defeated the Nazis, are remembered today in Russia. Desecrating monuments to Soviet soldiers is illegal in Russia. Well, that's because Zelensky, I guess, is a Nazi, a Jewish Nazi. I don't know. The whole thing is weird. But no, you're not allowed to desecrate these monuments. That's a crime in Russia. You know, Russia doesn't allow that stuff like the United States of America does because Russia's so flawed. We're so much better than them in that regard. But no, that's a crime. So now they're desecrating monuments. So Zelensky is tearing down the country's history. What is he doing? What is this guy doing? And why are we still hearing him out as far as this war is concerned? Very weird. What else do we have here? We could have a miracle. Guys, we could have a miracle. What if you could get the benefits of sleep without actually sleeping? No sleep, no problem. Awake mice given fake sleep signals passed a memory test. So they were sleep depriving these mice, but they were running these brain pattern stuff. I don't want to read the whole thing. Lights, brain patterns, all of the stuff to trick the brain into thinking it was asleep, even though the mice were awake. And it worked. The mice didn't have to sleep, and they got the positive effects from sleep. Boy, that'd be nice, as time seems to be condensing here. That would be nice if we could get the benefits of sleep without actually sleeping. I'm starting to think more about the sleep aid supplement recently because I've been having some trouble sleeping lately, you know? Need to get that sleep bomb. So Plantner wins, by the way. I forgot to play this. Guys, just don't doubt me when I tell you this is the sentiment on both the left and the right. It's just true.
Totem poke tattoo, the Nazi tattoo. How do you kind of?
Somebody said that they talked to somebody who had seen one of those or wore one of those, and it was silver, and it didn't even occur to him that it was the same thing. I think people are making as much of it as they can because they don't have a lot of substance around anything else. And if they did, we'd hear about it. Believe me, they are trolling for dirt.
What if he has like a Israeli flag tattoo or something? Would that be a deal breaker?
For me?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, despite who runs DC and the administration, Americans would rather vote for someone with a Nazi tattoo than an Israel tattoo. That's where you're at. That's the reality. That's the truth. You can deny it. You can hate it, but that's not going to change the reality. That's the fact. And it doesn't matter how many times you try to invoke the Holocaust. Doesn't matter how many AI photos of the Holocaust, how many fake statistics, everything else you want to shove in our face. That was almost 100 years ago. Okay? And it's like the same thing that they do with slavery in America. You know, honestly, these are probably the two biggest propaganda items in our history books and into our political consciousness that need to be removed. Like if we could somehow like go in and just like pull these things out. And it's not that we erase our history. It's this, we stop politicizing it. We stop propagandizing it. So it's like, that's what they do with Americans and slavery. It's like they want to keep the idea of slavery alive. It's like they want to keep the idea of slavery alive, and they do it by putting the worst elements of slavery all over the media, in the movies, in the books, in the schools. So even though that was the minority of the circumstances in America with black slaves, they take the worst elements of it and they make movies like Django Unchained. When the reality of slavery in America is actually more like it's depicted in The Patriot. So if you want to see what slavery in America was actually like, go watch the movie The Patriot. If you want to see what the propaganda is to make black people, to have these scars of their past dredged up to anger and propagandize black people against white people, then go watch Django Unchained, and that's pure slavery propaganda. And this is all done intentionally to divide and conquer the country. But so that's what they do. They take that element of our country's history, and then they keep it alive, and they put the worst elements in front of you so that it never dies and you can never get over it. And then they use that to control your politics. And they do the same thing with World War II. So it's like, it doesn't matter how many white people died to free the slaves. It doesn't matter how many white people died to end slavery in America. It doesn't matter about Bunker Hill, the bloody battle ever. None of that matters. None of that matters. It's like the same thing with World War II. It doesn't matter how many Americans died. It doesn't matter how many Americans were fighting Nazis. It doesn't matter how many Americans have fought and died to save Israel and save Jews. None of it matters. You're always going to be politically held hostage by World War II. You're always going to be politically held hostage by slavery in America. And they'll never let it go. And as soon as we break these chains, and this is all used against us, this is all put in the history books, it's all the intelligence agencies, even the Epstein class, that's how ridiculous it is. Yes, Maxwell did this. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Mossad family, Maxwell writes the history books. I know it's crazy. I know it's so crazy. I know it's true, but it's so crazy you don't even say it, but it's true. Look it up for yourself. The Mossad Maxwell family writes our textbooks. So that's why they do it. To keep America politically chained to slavery, politically chained to the Holocaust, so that we can never get out of it. We can never grow up. We can never advance. And then the agenda will always be tied to that. It'll always be tied to that history that nobody alive had anything to do with. As soon as we break those chains and we can start working towards independent minds, hearts and minds. But that's going to be a challenge. We already see it. All right, let's see here. I think we probably can go into the super chats now. I mean, I've got the Bongino thing, but it's the same story. It's like the only thing that the only time Bongino is ever relevant is when he's attacking somebody. But the story is weird, but I don't want to get into it. It'll take too long. I'll let me say this before we go to our super chats, though. Just to get some people in the audience angry today. Elon Musk, he becomes a trillionaire. He says this: nothing else matters if civilization falls. That's my Elon Musk post quote of the day. That'll anger all of the anti-Elon people in the chat. Oh, well. Oh, well. Hey, I just wish we could have gotten. Where did SpaceX close? Like 20%? Honestly, I thought it would be more. I thought it would be more today, but it was so limited, you couldn't even get it. So that was the problem. It finished 20%. Yeah, 19%. Slower than I thought. No, they, guys, I tried to get, I did a lot of stuff. I got as liquid as I possibly could to get as much SpaceX as I could, and they only gave me one. And then you had to buy after open, and the price shot up immediately to it shot up from 135 to 160 immediately. So you take a little hit there because they only let you get one. Seems like that was the case. Everybody I talked to, they only let you get one. But it made a lot of people millionaires, hardworking people, by the way. So it shouldn't be a bad thing. It should be a good thing. Yeah, there they go. There we are. There we go. Bring on the Elon Musk haters. This is our rivalry here. This is the rivalry between me and the audience. I'm not backing down either. It's all good. All right, here we go to the super chats as we do at the end of every show. Thanks to everybody for tuning in and sending us your super chats. Dust Vault, CommieTube. Yeah, so I don't know the exact reason we got the hit. It was because they just give you the video, and it wasn't like a music strike, so it wasn't like they had the copyright claim. So I think whenever we played one of those videos, I think an individual made a direct threat, and I think that's what dinged us. You know, they gave us the chance to review it and remove it last night, so we just didn't really dig into it. So they gave us the community guidelines note. They took the video down. They sent us the warning that we were off. We went through the process. We got it cleared. It's all taken care of. But I don't know exactly what did it. But I think it was somebody. We played a video of somebody making a threat. That's what dinged it yesterday. But we went through the process and we got it all figured out. So we're back today. I watched the panel debate you were on, and the MAGA side has nothing. MB9807. And, isn't it funny? And I have a clip here. I've been in my leftovers for a while. We won't get into it today. But, something happened. Dave Rubin went on Jubilee and just got scorched. And then he went, the day after he got scorched on Jubilee, he goes on with Jillian Michaels whining and complaining like a little girl about how his life was in danger. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you. And did I not tell you? I told you MAGA is now debating MAGA, owning MAGA is the equivalent of owning the libs and owning the Trump protesters from 2016 and 2017. Now that's MAGA. Now MAGA is the brainwashed sheeple that you can easily go around and walk around and herd into the, into the pasture. Now that's MAGA. And you're seeing it everywhere. And yes, now it's Owen Schroyer. How crazy is that? From owning the libs to owning MAGA. It's total Twilight Zone. It's total Twilight Zone. But here we are. Great debate, Owen. Hope the next time they add a loud, angry Latina to keep it confusing and annoying. King Adal. Oh, that's funny. I feel like maybe I should address a couple things. On the Gavin McGinnis thing, and that moment, and this is actually very important. I've explained this before, and I think people know this about me. Gavin and I got into it in that debate, and we've gotten into it before, at different events. Gavin and I are cool guys, and we can disagree on politics, and you guys can, do commentary on Gavin's different political viewpoints and everything. Gavin and I are cool. We have no beef at all. And that's very important to me. It's very important to me that you can have a passionate, spirited, heated debate and not leave filled with hatred and vitriol, but still have an amicable or friendly relationship with people. That's very important to me. So I just want to point that out, that Gavin and I are cool. Despite that intense debate, Gavin and I are cool. I also see people that are claiming something like Josie is a catfish, or Josie does filters on her pictures and she's actually really ugly or like an old hag. I'm just going to tell you right now, that is not true. Josie is a very good looking woman. And so anybody claiming that she uses filters to do that, no, she looks that way. So I don't know what that is. I saw people like taking weird screenshots and look at Josie. She's actually an old hag. She uses filters. No. So I'm defending Gavin that we're still friendly, and I'm defending Josie that she doesn't use filters. She's not an ugly woman. She's a good-looking woman. Billy Cardano, yesterday's live stream isn't available. What rule did you break? Well, I just addressed that. I would just say check other outlets. Just leave it at that. Mr. Clean, I had to come here back to my safe space after watching the MAGA versus America First debate with Linda Catalina in it. Sheesh. I like this. How many of these are in the chats today? We got a lot. Maybe Anna Navarro. That might spice things up. I might prefer Anna Navarro, actually, at this point. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're not. Is there a difference? Kind of even look the same. They might be the same person. Anna Navarro and Linda Catalina might be the same person. I've never seen them both in the same room together. Derek, Linda is a real low IQ. Have a good weekend, Owen. You know what, though? I'll even defend Linda and all the crap that, look, I don't know what the deal with Linda is, but apparently she gets into a lot of disagreements with people in the political media, because after that thing was published, I had all these people reaching out, telling me their stories about their experiences with Linda that were just like as crazy as mine, I guess. But I will say, Even Linda reached out after the debate and said, no hard feelings. So I'll even give her that credit. I will give her that credit. Alex Jones went scorched earth on Ben Shapiro. Oh, you mean the beady-eyed foreigner? The beady-eyed traitor? Paul Meadowhawk. The same government that lied, censored, and banned talk of biolabs in Ukraine also spreads lies about Iranian nukes. Bingo. But notice how they all admit the Ukrainian biolabs were real, but they're not going to do anything about it. That's the problem. Nobody will be held accountable. Do you ever watch AJ Gentile podcast, The Basement, or his channel, The Y-Files? I don't think I've heard about that. We do the Garage Cast here, so we don't do The Basement, all right? We're in the garage, buddy. Wifey, am I still in the Don house? I think we can let you back in. It's getting hot out there. I think we can let you back into the kitchen at least. It's about dinner time. Jonathan Greenblatt. Yeah. Fact, we are gone. Miss Projector Studio. We're 1776 maxing. Did anyone else catch Trump calling hardworking people who built the country the complainers, whilst he also took credit and gave credit to the elite? You know what? I did have that video. I did not make the final stack today. And that's mostly because I do think it's being a little bit misinterpreted. I actually agree with what you're saying as far as, this is what Trump said, whether he meant it or not. I think the only thing that kind of gets lost in translation is that, and it's just, it's just Trump he doesn't know what to do. He knows he's unpopular. He knows he's a liar now. He knows this whole thing is cooked, and it's all just, it's literally all just a confidence act is all it is. So he was in that moment, he was trying to own the haters, right? That was a moment where Trump was trying to slam dunk on the complainers and the haters. And what he ended up doing was expressing how the elite really feel about you, which is that you're worthless. Like, they, the rich, they, the elites, the billionaires, they have all the power. They have all the money. They're the only people that can make decisions and build things. And you, the rest of the people, you're just pawns. You're just sheeple. You're just peasants. And you need to shut up and sit down and let the elites run things. And I'm actually glad he said it, because I think that that's the truth. I think that that's how they talk about us behind the scenes. Now, I could play devil's advocate, and I could even say, Trump is right. The difference is, it's that they have a distinct vitriol for us. The difference is they have a very obvious disdain for us. Again, this is why I like Elon Musk, and this is why and the audience obviously gives me a hard time. I think it's fun, but this is the reason why I like Elon Musk. I don't think he hates us. I think Musk is one of the few people that is at that level that doesn't hate us, that doesn't hate humanity, and doesn't have a disdain for us. I really believe that. Now, you can have a problem with his technology and how rich he is, whatever. You can have all the problems. I'm not here to push back. I'm just telling you, you got to be reality. You got to be reality based. Okay. They have all the money. They have all the power and influence. They're reminding us of that right now. Okay. It seems to be the only one in that class of people that doesn't hate us is Elon Musk. And even Donald Trump in that moment showed its true colors a little bit. And I don't think Trump is the worst of them. I think Trump only hates you insofar as if you're not willing to, lick his toes and be loyal to him. But no, that's how the elites feel. They really don't view you as valuable or necessary. You're expendable. You can be, your entire gene pool, your entire lineage, as far as they're concerned, needs to be wiped off the earth. You're useless here. You're just taking up space and wasting energy. They want you gone. I think Elon Musk is the only one that doesn't feel that way. I'm going to be honest. And so that's my main reason of why I keep him in a positive light, because I think he is the only one that doesn't have outright disdain for the citizens of this country and this planet. I think the rest do. And I think Trump kind of showed his true colors there. They don't view you as having any value, folks. Except enriching them if they can do that. Florida GOP fish back right now. Election interference. Is that what are you talking about? They're effing Fishback. Yeah, the GOP is not going to get behind Fishback. Well, obviously. Sean Ryan is part of the reunification of the left and the right wing of America. He is one of the good guys. Flawed, sure, like everyone else, but good. Exactly. I mean, folks, we're going to have to build this alliance. We're going to have to build a new coalition. We have to. We have no choice. There is no coalition with the donor class. There is no coalition with the neocons. There is no coalition with the foreign lobbyists. They work for one thing and one thing only. There is no coalition with them. We've learned that now, beyond a doubt now. We know that that's the case. So we have to find a new coalition. We're building that coalition. The problem is we're just in this holding pattern as we wait out the days of this administration and see where it goes. But hey, you'll get a nice UFC fight this weekend. So what are you complaining about? Cole Dodson, get Monty Fritz on your show, candidate for governor of Tennessee, current state rep, and authored SB 2691, which outlawed geoengineering in Tennessee and passed in 2024. Gotta boost the grassroots. Argentina, Italian ex-girlfriend bought 10 messy blow-up dolls at Lowe's. I don't believe you. Tell Tay white Latinas do not exist. Are you sure about that? Did you see the crowd at that Mexico game? In fact, let me slop for a second, if you don't mind. You guys mind if I slop for a second? I got to tell you, I love the World Cup. I'm going to be glued to the World Cup for the next 3 weeks. I think the final game is like July 10th or something. I'm going to be glued to the World Cup for the next month. I'm going to be glued to it. I love the World Cup. I always have. I think it's as far as global sports spectacles are concerned, it is the global sports spectacle. It is bigger than everything else. Maybe it's not our favorite as Americans, but it is the biggest in the world. And if you don't like soccer, that's fine. You don't watch. But it is an incredible event. I do like the World Cup. And I think I was kind of ahead of the curve on wondering what the heck the deal was as far as the lack of hype, the lack of marketing, because now that it has officially started, you're starting to see other people are pointing that out. They're pointing out how the stadiums aren't sold out. Folks, something went horribly wrong here. Something went horribly wrong. And I don't just want to jump to the obvious conclusion that this is part of the complete debacling of Trump. And it's like, Trump and the administration or something, like we should have been more focused on this event. It's like we did a lot to get this event. We built this event up. We're really proud of it. And then once we got it, we just kind of, and we all know why, because Trump is, everything is Middle East. Everything is Israel now. Nothing else matters. That's why nothing else gets done. Okay, well, maybe let's not leap to that conclusion then. Let's put that off. Something is off with this, guys. Something is off with this. And the empty seats is one thing. It's like I can kind of understand the empty seats. The American ticket market is so overinflated that they thought they could take advantage of that. And so FIFA did I don't know what it was they did, but they did some weird deal where it was like they didn't release any tickets until the last moment. And the tickets were so expensive, nobody can afford them. And so people just gave up. It was like, okay, you can't get tickets. And even if you can't afford them. So the stadiums have not been filled. I mean, that is unheard of. That is unheard of to not have a filled stadium for a World Cup game. That is like, can you imagine a Super Bowl with empty seats? I mean, that's what we're talking about here. That's like a Super Bowl with empty seats. You never hear of that. That doesn't happen. And yet that's what's happening with this World Cup. So they blew it with the ticket sales, but there's something else going on. There's a whole cultural thing going on here. And it hit me as I'm looking at these stadiums, and they have the World Cup final at MetLife Stadium in New York, which sucks. That stadium is as dry and cookie cutter as it gets. There's no personality to it. And they're like talking about the Azteca Stadium in Mexico, which is awesome. It's got personality. It's got flair. And it's like, you look at the US stadiums and they just suck. There's no personality. It's weird. It's like they build these stadiums and they want it like to look like it's the future, and they want all this high-tech stuff, but there's no personality. And there's going to be games played in Kansas City at Arrowhead, and I'm like, that's where these games should be being played. It should be being played in these stadiums that actually have a personality. It's like SoFi Stadium is big and expensive, but there's no personality. It's just like a giant movie theater. I mean, even AT&T Stadium, which is like a giant movie theater, even that has some personality. But like Energy Stadium, it's like dry. And it's like, what? And it's not even really our World Cup. They've already played 2 games in Mexico. They've already played a game in Canada. We didn't even open the World Cup. The United States of America didn't even open its own World Cup. What is that? I don't know if that has ever happened. I'm pretty sure the host nation always opens the World Cup in the country. The United States is going to be the 4th game of the World Cup. There isn't even a game played in the U.S. until the 4th game. I mean, what is the deal with this World Cup? It's very sad. They butchered this deal, man. We butchered it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this thing doesn't go this bad. Right now, it looks like this deal was totally bungled. And if they have empty stadiums in America for this World Cup, it might not come back forever. They may never bring the World Cup back here ever again because of all the issues with getting people in and traveling and expenses. And now you can't even fill the stadium. I don't know what Trump did to get it here, but it might never come back. So it's like, thanks, Trump. It's like Trump put in all this effort to bring the World Cup here so he could celebrate how he brought the World Cup here, and then he never played with the toy again. And now it's been sitting there gathering dust and it's rotting, and he doesn't even care. I mean, it is the epitome of the Trump administration. Pretend you care about something for trivial reasons and then just let it rust and die. Anna, an original MAGA is dead. Who gives a F about MAGA? By the way, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm thinking Paraguay is the play tonight as a massive underdog. I'm telling you guys, look, we all know how this story ends. Let me tell you how it ends. Yeah, well, Jesus Christ. But let's not go there for $2 today. Today's game, let me just slop it up for you. Slop it up so you can impress your friends with your high quality slop here. Impress your friends with your high quality Owen Report slop. Tonight's game is actually one of the biggest games in America's soccer history. Now you can say, hey, it's just the opening round. It's just against Paraguay. You're overselling this. No, I think you're misinterpreting. This isn't about the stakes. This isn't about what's on the line. This is about if America can't win this game to open up the World Cup in the United States of America this year, then you have to look at the soccer program here in America and say it is an utter failure. How is it that the U.S. women's team is completely dominant, like untouchable? The U.S. women's soccer team is by far and away the best female international team in the world. It's not even close. And then the U.S. men's team just sucks. I mean, let's just say what it is. They suck. It's like they can't win a big game. They can't get out of a group stage. Sometimes they can't even qualify. If they can't win against Paraguay tonight, it's like they will never ascend. The United States of America will always be a bottom feeder soccer team. They will never ascend to a powerhouse status of competing on the international stage, and they will always suck. And that's embarrassing. But I'm almost rooting for it, even though it would suck to get bounced in the group stage in the World Cup you're hosting. I'm almost hoping for it, because here's what I think is going to have to happen. Somebody is going to have to step up. Like Alexi Lawless or Landon Donovan. One of these guys is going to have to step up and say, listen, I'm going to coach this team, and we're actually going to try to motivate these players that this means something to the country. Because right now it just doesn't. And if you can't get out of the group stage in the World Cup in a soft group, by the way, a soft group that you're hosting, that's just, it's done. Reset the program. Whatever direction you're going is a complete failure. And one of these old players that actually saw success, one of these old players that was part of the ascension of men's national soccer, I would say Lawless or Donovan, one of them is going to have to step up and say, all right, I'm coaching the team. I'm taking a leadership role. We're going to make this mean something, because if you can't get out of this group stage this year, it is beyond an embarrassment. There's your elite slop for the day. Mattis, I'm going to start the Prove Your America First challenge. I'm going to post a video of me singing the national anthem with a statement of no foreign country. Do you think it'll catch on? Might as well have Kamala. I don't know about that. And my friends would still be rotting in jail, so I can't say that I agree. Me mom. Billy Cardano. Tinfoil hat on. You think Israel would false flag U.S. again to increase U.S. support? Does a bear shit in the woods? I mean, isn't it obvious Israel will do anything? Israel will stop at nothing. I mean, that's the big realization the entire world has realized. Israel has no guardrails. Israel has no brakes. They are completely rogue, reckless. They will stop at nothing. Death and destruction doesn't matter. They're all for it. And when you understand the ideology and the ethno-nationalism and the religious supremacy built into it, then you understand why they do it. You America First, post it. How will they get away with the false flag when almost every American now stubs their toe and blames them? Because they own the people that make the decisions. That's the thing. Look at the Iran war. Nobody wants this war, but they own DC, so they get it anyway. But that'll be their reminder. It's like, okay, fine, the American people. All right, we'll hit you now. If the USS Liberty was called the USS Israel, it would have never been attacked. Change my mind. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, start labeling all yourself Israel, and it'll be protected. Good idea. And it'll be nice extra privilege, too. You'll be protected. You'll get a protection status. You'll probably get some free stuff, and you'll get that nice victim status, too. The Widow. Looking back, it's really clear there was always a Trump cult. I just thought they were like me and wouldn't put up with any BS. I was wrong. No, originally it was not a cult. It didn't start becoming a cult really, probably until maybe, you know, it's hard to put a date on it. I would say after 2020, though, yeah, I don't know. I mean, certainly there's no denying it was after the election that it became so noticeable. I always explain, because I always told people, so some people were upset at the time. They're like, why would you support Trump again after what he did during COVID? And I explained, I said, look, in 2015 and 2016, me supporting Trump actually changed things. We actually are the ones that got Trump elected. We are the ones that did the convincing and did the heavy lifting on the ground in the media, in the discourse to get Trump across the finish line for the nomination of the Republicans and then for the presidential election. We had that opportunity and we had that influence in 2016, so we did it. After 2024, it didn't matter. We could have campaigned for anybody, gone anti-Trump. It wouldn't have mattered. Trump already had it locked in. So, you know, Trump was going to be there anyway. So you figured, okay, well, let's get behind this and let's see what we can do with it and get him back in there and get some of the good stuff done that he's campaigning on. So he's the one that broke all the campaign promises. And that's when it became the cult, is when the campaign promises got broken and they just continued to support him. Trump is the guy who cried peace deal too much. Yeah, like, I mean, everything he says, it's like, you can't take anything he says seriously anymore. They're all in a rubber room bloodlust maxing. That's a good one. That's true. That's what it is. Yeah, they're all in a rubber room They're trying to out bloodlust max one another. Levin, Shapiro, Loomer, Huckabee. Thoughts on Ivanka's discovery of the island? Yeah, exactly. JM Dog. No, they were going around laughing at her. They were going in Albania at these protests. It's like 14 straight days of protests, and they're laughing. She claims she discovered the island. No. It's the one island. Everybody knows about it. Tourists go there. People go there. There's a military installment there. It's so weird. It's like, why do they lie so much? It's like even Ivanka turns out to be just a complete, total corrupt liar. It's like, what the hell, man? I mean, at least the Trump boys kind of just shut up, right? It's like, at least Eric and Don know. It's like Eric and Don have read the room. They're like, all right, we're just going to kind of shut up. It's like, we're just going to kind of disappear from the commentary scene right now because it's just, yeah, it's not good. We've read the room. Okay. And Ivanka's like, oh, I'm going to lean in. Wow, this whole war in Iran is very unpopular. This whole Israel controlling our country is very unpopular. I'm going to lean into that, and I'm going to make a claim that I discovered an island in Albania so that my husband, Jared Kushner, can buy it while the other Israelis buy South Italy, and then we can control that waterway too. And nobody will know. It's like, what the hell? So, yeah, I mean, it's clown world. This whole thing is total clown world now. I can't believe Americans support this, honestly. It's disgusting. I want to be a menace today. What is wrong with me? It's not a bad trait. It's all right. Miss Anita, do you care about the Carrie Sharon murder? I can't keep up with all these murders. And then it's like, there was another shooting in Texas. And then it's like, oh, well, this was a white one. This was a black one. Oh, my gosh. And then, of course, they always decide which one is going to drive the most division. And it was Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony. So, yeah, they always pick and choose which ones you hear about. Wifey menace maxing. Do you want a menacing wife, guys? How does that feel? Sounds kind of fun, a little dangerous. Cody Legaline. Cody Legal Alien? What is that? Cody Legalian? I haven't seen valid numbers on self-deportations. 2 million is a cope. Sample size surveys. Well, the official data that you can get, the Trump administration has deported about 600 to 700,000 people. Like, that's how many deportations at the high level. That's like the highest level is like 600, 700,000 deportations. And that's maybe way high. They estimate 2 to 2.5 million have self-deported. So they get to that 3 million number, which is way too short anyway, but they get to that 3 million number, and the vast majority of those are self-deportations. So those aren't even real deportations. The deportations aren't happening. I mean, guys, it's just total delusion, man. The deportations are not happening. They're not. All right, well, okay, the mass deportations aren't happening. Before the MAGA cult members start freaking out. They are happening. Look at the numbers. Look at the videos. All right, mass deportations aren't happening. Don't have a cortisol spike. It's Friday. Are you SpaceX ticker maxing today? I tried. I got screwed. After all I've done with the hatred from my own audience supporting Elon Musk, after all I've done to stand for Elon Musk's good human nature, despite my audience turning on me for it, and I could only get one in the initial, and then I had to pay the price of all the other peons out there. Come on, man. For what? Rachel Animus, watched latest MAGA divide, drove me to make first super chat. Everyone was out of your league, ignorant or zero presence, missed opportunity to say, listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Aliens are real. I am the thing from Uranus. Thank you, Iron Lunatic. I was waiting for a Uranus joke today. It's about damn time, actually. Just heard the Dan Bon Tiptoe show. Telling you, the whole thing is weird. I can't right now. It's too much. Plasmoid life in the thermosphere, self-illuminated plasmas up to a kilometer in size are attracted to and feed on electromagnetic radiation. Are you saying that was in the videos? Is that what they're claiming it is? Enjoy hellfire forever. All right. I was in the sauna today. Thank you. Tiny Mustache fled to Argentina for white Latinas. Oh, that was with the white Latinas. Did you see the crowd of Mexicans? Those were white Latinas. The Mexican soccer fans. It's amazing. They keep finding these international soccer fans these women keep finding ways to wear less and less clothing, guys. Really amazing. Funny, two Owens shows get interrupted and AJ is hyping up a water filter in the same week. American History and Django Trump doc on Netflix. Movies to watch. I haven't done a movie for the weekend in a while. Well, I would say just watch the World Cup. That's what I'm going to be doing. But in case you don't like that, I would avoid one battle after the other. That movie sucked. That is one of the most forced performances I've ever seen. And it's so obvious what they tried to do. And I don't think Leo's heart was in it, by the way. But it's so obvious what they tried to do. They wanted to make this movie like a liberal leftist terrorist wet dream. And even almost to like a train you how to do it thing. But, it's just entertainment, right? But it's not even a good movie. If it was still a good movie, I could tell you it's a good movie. The movie sucked. I'd avoid it. Not worth your time. Plus, it's really long. The new Mario movie, Mario Galaxy, that's a good one. That's a good one. Now, I don't know. The only problem you might have with the new one is it's so deep into the Mario lore where it kind of gets a bit nonsensical unless you like actually have played all the games and know all the different characters. Because if you don't know all the characters and all the games, it gets a little confusing and overwhelming. It's not like the first one that is way more basic and anybody can kind of go into that with the basic knowledge of Mario and enjoy it. But I would say Mario Galaxy was a good one. I think I would recommend Mario Galaxy. I think it's a good one. I think the family would enjoy it. Reminder of the Epstein email, which mentioned turning one of the women or girls into fertilizer and putting them onto a golf course as punishment. PFF. Oh, yeah. I wonder what golf course they were talking about. What am I cooking for your B-Day, sir? Well, you still got a couple weeks to figure that out. But yes, you will be. Trump met with the Agarthans, two super white, pale-haired humanoid people in red garb. It's all over X. They claim Trump posted that. I can't tell where the original image came from. Does anybody know? Did Trump actually post that? Bring out the aliens. The farm girl. We need Jay's against the establishment. Jay's next election. Confuse Congress and expose Israel as the New World Order front that it really is. Well, the problem is those people don't get a platform. Those people get attacked from within, silenced, threatened, and then don't get a platform. That's how it's treated. Play Strong for Life. Super chat dedication to all the children, young girls, and boys who saw terror in their last days. May they have been greeted by Jesus Christ. Their souls reach peace and glory with our Lord and Savior. Amen. Thank you for that. Very nice. That's nice. Thank you. That is good. What's going on in Cuba? Good question. But apparently Laura Loomer is down at Gitmo. Do you see that? Is that like a torture thing? They're trying to get information. They got these terrorists down at Guantanamo Bay, and they can't, there's like they're immune to torture. There's nothing they can physically do. They don't have any family, so they're immune to torture. So they said, let's call up Laura Loomer. We've run out of torture mechanisms. Let's call Laura Loomer and let's have her start talking politics to these Guantanamo Bay inmates. That'll break them. Let's get Laura Loomer in a cell and let's ask her how much she loves Trump and how great Trump is, and then just let her go on for hours. And these terrorists can sit in the cell listening to Laura Loomer yap about how much she loves Trump, and eventually they're going to break. It's the last chance. So, it's a bold strategy from the Trump administration. I think it's a smart strategy. They're trying to find a way to utilize Laura. She's dedicated, she's committed, but she's a psychotic freak, and she's not really helping with the popularity issue now. She's very unpopular. She's coming off as somebody that belongs in an institution, a straitjacket. But we don't want to do that with somebody like that so close to Trump. So how do we repurpose Laura? How do we aim this jigsaw psycho? So the Trump administration said, somebody called Trump and said, President Trump, Laura Loomer is becoming a serious issue. Very unpopular, having a psychotic break. It's a bad look that she's associated with us. What can we do? Why don't we send her to Guantanamo Bay? There's a couple of Mohammeds down there that won't talk. Our boys have been trying to break them, but they won't talk. So they're immune to physical torture. They have no family, nothing. We need to get that information. We need to get that oil. Netanyahu needs it. So why don't we send Laura down there and maybe she can talk to them. Just put her in a cell. That's all it takes. Why don't we send Laura down to Guantanamo Bay? Everybody wins. She thinks she's going there for a presidential award or something, and really we're sending her down there because we don't want her here. And then put her in a cell with those terrorists. They'll break. They'll give us the information. They'll tell us where the drugs are. They'll tell us where the terrorists are, but nothing will break them. Maybe Laura Loomer's presence will break them. Send her down there. That'll break them. Nobody can stand that for more than 20 minutes. My God. Go, Owen, go. Gringo Tomato. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. W Truth, W Show, W Chat, and W Loomer. Get her out of here. What a freak. She wants to come to the UFC fight. Send her to Guantanamo. Not here. Not on my birthday. Nowhere near. 109 Chinese buffets. Oh, come on. I mean, Randy Fine blew up. Randy Fine likes blowing things up so much that he blew himself up. He has to find custom-made belts. They don't make belts for, not even Nadler had to find a belt that big. John Franson, Owen, you are the reincarnation of Rush with savage highlights. With those influences, you are still your own man. Your humor is better than theirs. Thank you for keeping talk radio relevant in this clown crap world. Thank you, John. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Appreciate I can fill that void. Means a lot. Tim, who's going to win the big game tonight? I mean, am I bad? I'm rooting for America. Of course I'm rooting for America, right? I mean, duh. But you can't bet with your heart. Paraguay is a massive underdog. That's a 4-1 payout if Paraguay wins. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, this is the U.S. soccer team. This is the choke era. So if I'm betting it, I am probably... if I'm betting it, I'm probably betting Paraguay. I'm sorry. I'm rooting for the U.S., but I have not seen anything from this team recently that makes me think that they're going to come out of this group stage. I'll tell you that. No. Ken, thank you. If you Google Crow Magnus, Bongino's picture pops up. Hyperdimensionalist. It's effing Friday, brother. Here it is, making it through another week with these goobers in power. Yeah. Enjoy the weekend. They can't take that away from you. Already lost $13 on my SpaceX stock. You know, I will say this. I'll tell you what I think. This is what I'm considering. Now, I do think SpaceX long-term is good. I think in 10 years, SpaceX is probably worth over $1,000. I do believe that. Now, whether you want to hold for 10 years or not, that's up to you. I think inevitably SpaceX is going to be the Eli Lilly of space. So like Eli Lilly always sits above $1,000. Eli Lilly has everything and, pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. And SpaceX actually is going to have AI. They're going to have satellites. They're going to have delivery, space exploration. I'd say within 10 years, maybe even less, SpaceX is $1,000 a share easily. I'd say that's pretty safe. Now, it could tank. I mean, what I'm considering, I will tell you. It's probably too late today, but maybe you can get ahead of it if shit goes down Monday. Because I'm having the same instincts that I ignored at the last all-time highs, and I'm having the same instincts now, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't ignore them this time. I have a feeling we're about to see a major crash or major correction. And I almost, in the crazy conspiracy mindset, I almost think it's all coming down after this weekend. I feel like this weekend, with the UFC show and all the other fanfare and all this other stuff going on and Trump's birthday and the SpaceX launch, I feel like they're doing one last pump and dump. I feel like they're doing one last massive gainer, And then there's going to be a huge correction or crash. And then they're going to launch the war and really tank things. And then from there, it's just like everything just is going down. That's kind of what my instincts tell me. My instincts tell me after this SpaceX mountain today that everything is crashing soon. And it's all going to be tied into the war. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that doesn't happen. But that's kind of how I'm looking at it. But I still believe in 10 years, if they don't blow up the world, let's say, I think in 10 years, SpaceX is worth $1,000 a share easy. So I'd say long-term, you're good. But the volatility short-term could become an issue. Space Friend, if only Alex listened to you, he wouldn't be so confused. Have a great weekend, Owen. Thank you. You have a great weekend, too. If everybody listened to me, they would be less confused, Looked like Gavin felt uncomfortable on the side a few times during the debate. I kind of liked the short guy. Reminded me of a stuffed animal. Oh, he's nice. David, I went on his show, too. Yeah, he was good. Stinky Cato. What unseasoned food do you make yourself eat? That's pretty good. I thought you single men ate microwave burritos all day. No, I try to eat healthy. I don't eat breakfast anymore. I'm skipping breakfast, which, by the way, I actually recommend. It's kind of a biohack. It's kind of a good way to engage in intermittent fasting every day without having to think about it since you're going to be sleeping. So you eat, I would say, this will help you cut weight and it will help you with testosterone and even HGH, because once you hit 12 hours of a fast, your body chemistry starts changing and you're burning fat at like 2 times the rate and you're producing testosterone and growth hormone at 2 times the rate. And so it's like you go sleep for 6 to 8 hours. You don't eat 2 hours before bed. You're already 8 hours into a fast. Then you don't eat breakfast. You go through your day. By the time it's lunch, you just did a 12, 14-hour fast. So then I don't know, steaks, mostly chicken, potatoes, probably eat out too much. Unseasoned food. Yeah, I guess that's a fair white stereotype. Sometimes I just don't do any seasoning. You know what I did? I did fried chicken with honey today. I'm on a honey chicken kick. Fried chicken and honey kick is where I'm at. I don't know why. Remind me of a stuffed animal that when you press a button on him, he just says Zionist talking points, but in a lovable way. Are we still on that? Josie is attractive, but that chick next to her, damn. Oh, you're talking about Emily. You and Clint really held their feet to the fire, except Clint couldn't even put on a damn suit. At least he didn't wear a beanie and flexed that baldness. Thank you for your assessment of the game. Cheering for the U.S. Mutant Ninja Turtles nonetheless. Well, you got to cheer for the country, but that doesn't mean you got to bet. Betting with your heart gets you in trouble. You should go with the season 1 Vikings Ragnar Lothbrok hair look. Great job on the debate. I still watch G-Dog for the time being. So the hair is getting, it's like, it's finally crossing that awkward phase where it's like, it doesn't know what to do on the sides. So I'm constantly, having to like push it back behind my ears because it's just kind of in an awkward phase. I'm almost out of that phase where it's just pure long hair. And so once we cross that threshold, we're going to do something. We're going to do something with it. Maybe it's a Viking look. Maybe it's a mullet. I wouldn't do a man bun, would I? Cornrows? What? I don't know. Something's going to happen, though. We're almost there. Wild card, bitches. Yeehaw. If you know that show, then good for you. Was Trump deep state in 2016? Look at his picks. 0 swamp drained and supported depopulation shots, plus added the deficit. The swamp got stronger. Well, I think that's a fair assessment. The only question becomes, when did the foreign policy issue become the driving force? Because that was not a driving force in the first administration, and it was not a driving force in the campaign. So it's like, what happened where they forced him to make that the agenda? That's the question. Was it the bullet past the ear? Was it an Epstein thing? I don't know, but clearly that's the major shift that everybody can sense and see. One of these days, we need to hear the blackmail story. I get it. Maybe just leave it in the past for now. Also, do you think Linda was about to rush Josie? Brandon could be the next Jerry Springer. Oh, I like that. I like that. I think I addressed the blackmail thing yesterday, didn't I, guys? If I'm wrong, I'll do it again, but I'm pretty sure I already did. So I'm not going to do it again. Only jabronis sent for Elon. Okay, jabroni. What kind of shoe are you wearing right now? American History X is more relevant now than when it came out. The parallels are crazy. It's prophetic. Have you seen it? Oh, not for years. I haven't seen that movie in probably 20 years, maybe more. Maybe that's time for a rewatch. Curly conservative. I don't understand why anybody wouldn't be on the America First side. MAGA appears to be in complete denial. I think deep down they know they're wrong. You might be onto something. Alex McCarthy. Shout out to U.S. Captain Tim Ream, who started his career at St. Joseph's Cottleville. Dude, are you serious? Did you see he had a story in, was it the Washington Post today? Man bun, old man bun. Tim got a feature in the story today. He got a feature. He was the front page of, it was the Washington Post or the New York Times. I can't remember. They had a feature story on Tim today. And I was like, wait, that's not the Tim. That's not the Tim, because he's the same age as us. I think he was 08, wasn't he, Alex? Pretty sure Tim was 08. Wow. The St. Louis world, man. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. You guys have no idea the St. Louis world that surrounds you. We just silently roam about. We don't make it too loud, but we're everywhere. This makes me even root harder for the U.S. team. I'm cheering for him, man, but I just not confident. Gal Yi Un. Gal Yi Un. All right, I'll know that now when you super chat. There aren't any mass self-deportations. That's a talking point. Thanks for the show. So you don't even believe that's happening? You think they're just making that up? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Lime sriracha honey chicken wings. I don't like wings. I don't like the chicken wings have to be the most overrated food. How did they sell you on this? You sit here and you become a mess. I mean, your hands are a mess, your face is a mess, and you get like a sliver of meat. And then you're sitting here like licking your hands in this like these thin, slimy bones. I don't get the chicken wings thing. I don't. It's like, I guess they're cheap. What is the deal? Donald Trump is a disgrace. Elon's a good guy. Oh, Connie is with me, finally. Brianna said you make unseasoned food. I wasn't stereotyping. Oh, Brianna. Brianna. Stop it. What does she know? Obviously nothing. All right, guys. That's going to do it for today. How about that? What a crazy week. Really. What a crazy week. I'm sure next week won't be so crazy, right? Yeah, right. I bet you next week is going to be crazier. So I'd enjoy the weekend. That's what I would do. I'd enjoy the weekend. I like the Spurs to win, I have to say. Like the Spurs to win. I like Wrath G in the UFC fight. Enjoy the weekend, guys. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy the summer. Enjoy the weekend, and then just brace yourselves, because I have a feeling, I've got a feeling next week is about to be a tailspin in more ways than one. That does it for the show today. God bless, Godspeed. We'll see you on Monday.